All right, welcome to the Sae Bae cast number 208 with JackedRS. Jack, how are we
Hello.
doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So let's get a quick little bio of who you are, Jack, and let's just get a little history of like your kind of play style, as well as just any sort of accomplishments that you've had in game.
Sure. Yeah, no, I started playing just over 3 years ago. Um, I'll do the story of what got me into the game, actually. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
So it was around the time Group Ironman came out. And I'm sure you know Josh Strife Hayes. I'm pretty sure you had him on the cast.
just recently.
Um, yeah, he made a video about why Group Ironman is great. And I had been like playing lots of League of Legends and I had just hit Diamond and I felt like that was enough for me. And I've had played WoW in the past, but I was not currently because I wasn't doing very well. So I saw this video on Old School and it looked really cool, so I tried it out, and I've not looked back since.
Very
So Group
nice.
Iron Man got me into the game. Originally, I wanted to play a Group Iron Man, excuse me, with my friends, but none of them wanted to play, so I made a regular Iron Man.
Sounded like you did also your Grandmaster combat achievements. Is that correct? And that's without a scythe.
Yeah, I did GM on my Iron without sight. It was I think it's like that's something people like to say is maybe harder than it is. It's like a friends check. You should be giving the credit to everybody who got me through the top CAs more than me.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to like have stumbled into knowing some of the best tobbers in the game just through the Ironscape Discord.
hmm
So they were all very happy to carry me through those tasks. And at some point I got Soul Reaper Axe before I finished, but I think I actually did most of the top times with a blade or tent whip, same thing.
Damn, that is impressive, and you're humble. It's just what happens when you're a big gamer. It's just like the humility comes with it. So,
I mean, when
cool.
you're
Yeah,
surrounded by people who've like done better or done the same, like you know Jukebox Romeo, right?
yeah. He was actually the episode one of the cast. So,
Yeah, he did no scythe GM before me, and then he's like helping me do my times. I can't help but be a little bit humble.
yeah. Well, yeah. He's a beast. That's cool though, man. In 3 years, I mean, going from having never played RS to maxing an Ironman with Grandmaster. That's a lot, man. So, was it ever
Yeah.
a struggle for you, or is your mindset just always built to like, okay, I've set my mind to this, I'm going to get it done? And were there hurdles that you had to overcome that were seemingly impossible at some point?
I think it came really easily for me because most of the time that I was playing my iron, I was working from home, and my job basically locked me at my computer for 9 hours a day. And there was not actually a lot of work to be done at the job, so I just played a lot of RuneScape. Like, especially when I was working night shift, I was maxing around that time. Oh my God. I was doing like I just remember blasting like 8 hours of Slayer every night for a good month or something. Slayer's less EHP than that, but you get the idea.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's the dream right there. Um,
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, some of my friends would say it's like the skiller's dream job, but I definitely got tired of it at some point.
I see.
Mainly nights. Night shift sucks.
So you did eventually burn out of that Ironman, correct? So you got everything you wanted to accomplish. Sounds like you got all mega rares, 20 mil based XP, which is fucking insane for 3 years. I don't know how that's
I'm
even. That's
I'm
insane.
kind of close to 30. I just don't want to do agility.
Holy shit, bro. So,
You can look the count up if you want. It's
yeah,
Jack.
just jacked.
Yeah. I Yeah, I have a lot of the 30 mils. I just really don't want to do agility for some reason. I'm fine doing it on the ultimate. I just have no motivation on the iron for some reason.
Do you like Sepulcher?
I do like all the XP I have as a bulker, but at some point, it's actually something that Effie Poppy was talking about in his ramble. Um, he was talking about like people are content with getting to like 99% of the way at Sepulcher, and he's really passionate about that last 1%, and he
Mm-hmm.
loses a lot of people when he talks about it. So it's like, you know, your person who thinks they're good at SEP might be able to hold 100k XP per hour, whereas like the very best people with the records are holding 108k, and there's just like a massive difference between that. But
Mm-hmm.
most people don't care because they're like 99% of the way there numbers wise, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's a this is a really beast account, man. Almost a bill XP as well. But it sounded like you did burn out. And so was there like a certain cause of
Mm.
that, or was it just you had already kind of accomplished what
Uh,
you wanted?
I mean, I was probably gonna burn out no matter what at some point, but I stopped spooning items. Like for the record, a lot of the PVM stuff I have on here is lucky. Like that's why I have all three mega rares. I just got them early, except for my scythe. I went right for that, but I got Tebow at like half rate, Shadow at half rate, um, and then I was grinding chambers, and I'm 10 purples dry at chambers, and that is what burned me out in the end.
Yikes. So what have you been up to since burning out of the main beast iron?
I started in Ultimate Iron Man, and that is when like the Iron's fate was sealed. Well, I already had the account, but I logged into it one day, and I've been playing it ever since. And now it's like now I've just been working on maxing it. And well, at first it was just maxing it, but now I've been starting to like actually care about the account more and enjoy playing on it more. So it's probably going to be PVM as well.
Okay. And what's your UIM's name?
Terratron, it's phonetic. It's like just over 2K total, but
So with one
um,
R, or I guess two R's technically across the thing.
yeah, yeah. It's
TERATRON.
in the embed in our DM if you look at the
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see it.
in all caps. Yeah,
Nice.
it's like pretty low total level, but it's just because I haven't been doing a lot of combat because like well, efficient routing on an ultimate, I mean like the idea is I'm trying to efficiently max it, right?
Mm.
But efficient routing kind of has you avoid the hell out of combat because excuse me, like having a lot of inventory space for skills is nice and Slayer benefits from having other skills done is like the short and sweet of it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean
So,
this account is still absolutely jacked. I mean 99 RC, 99 construction already on a UIM is
oh,
insane with 99 crafting.
I did 99 construction the damn second I could. UI,
I know it's
UIM is
so OP.
miserable without a concave.
I bet,
Um,
dude.
I did the repairing Piscarilius cranes for it, which is like stupid
Oh,
overpowered on ultimate.
so that's how you got both crafting and construction, right? Because it trains both.
Y- Yeah, it does. No,
Now,
that method is broken as hell for ultimates.
yeah, no, I mean, on my group hardcore, I was doing. Somebody was like, "Oh, you should do cranes. You should try it out." And I did try it out, and
Hmm.
I mean, I think I tried it out for like 25 minutes. I fucking hated my life. It was awful, and it wasn't working as well as I had hoped. But it sounds like you need alts to be constantly like
Very,
hopping worlds with you.
I would say you need a minimum of one alt, but like three is probably the sweet spot. And like, it's not three actually repairing. One of them is just AFK in the Morton plank shop. That's I really like having one there
Mm,
because the if you don't know how it works, it's you buy planks for 1 GP from the Morton plank shop, which for some reason is shared across all game modes. So you use an alt to restock that shop. So you have a main account alt with noted planks there, filling the shop up, so you don't have to world hop for planks.
mm.
And then you take those planks and repair the Piscarilius docks with other accounts helping, because when one account that's on the crane succeeds, everybody succeeds. So you're basically multiplying your repair speed by the number of alts you have.
And what is like the efficient XP per hour you're getting for both? It's just crafting and construction, right?
Yeah, and it's multiplied by your level, so it'll scale with your level. The rate that I got using four alts, three of them repairing and one of them AFKing in the plank shop was 120k crafting and construction XP per hour, like at
Jesus
98 construction.
Christ, dude. That's
And this
98.
costs like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like close enough. And this costs like very close to zero GP.
Bruh. So that's just basically what any UIM is doing for these
I
for
mean,
these
yeah,
skills. Like if they're trying to
it
be efficient.
it's really good for Ultimate Iron Man. It's really good for a one defense pure, and it's like kind of borderline for regular iron, hardcore iron. Like I don't. It's not. I don't think it's technically good, but I could see somebody justify doing it, especially if they wanted early 99 con.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Wow.
because the like being able to do it for zero GP is really nice.
So, what do you think? Do you think this is a broken method? Do you think it should stay in the game
Yes.
as is, or do you think it should be patched somehow?
I mean, as much as I like the method because it gives you a lot of freedom as far as like ultimate skilling goes, it is overpowered. The only problem or the only part that's bad is the Morton shop. The Morton shop shouldn't be shared across all game modes.
Okay, so if they were to patch just that alone, do you think it would fix it?
Yeah, I would say so because you wouldn't really have a good enough source of planks to make it worth it. Or you'd have to like two client world hop for planks, which might make the method like still technically worth for ultimates, but it would be I think a lot of people would be put off doing it and it would not be as overpowered.
I see. Yeah, that feels okay. It's so weird because it feels like Jagex is very picky and choosy. Like they just kind of like it seems almost random sometimes with the things they nerf and the things they just keep around forever. I mean, one of the nerfs we just saw lately, like last week, was them nerfing Trouble
Trouble
Brewing
Brewing?
again. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
which
I mean, I was scratching my head at that so hard.
I mean, don't get
Um,
me wrong, it was pretty busted, but I mean, it's not busted for everybody. It's not busted for main accounts. Main accounts, there's so many other options for cooking and fletching and whatnot. But, if you're a mid-game Ironman and you're just basically you don't need any food, you don't need to do Hosidious kitchens, and you're getting, 250k cooking XP an hour on top of fletching, on top of wood cutting. I mean, it is
is that
pretty
with
damn generous.
is that with the three tick smuggle, the
Th-
250K? Because
I
I did a
maybe.
I did a lot of it on my ultimate. It's 200K cooking if you're four tick chopping.
Okay, it must have been the three tick then. That was the 250, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it, I think the method was pretty good,
Hmm.
but some people were hating on it too hard, and some people were shilling it too hard. Because like whenever somebody calls it a fletching method, I just roll my eyes.
The thing is,
Like,
it was pretty good for if you're not going to be an efficient Ironman. Like efficient Ironman is get your broader fletching, spend a bunch of money and fletch around the game, and then make it basically zero time. But there's a lot of Ironmen
yeah.
that just don't give a fuck about that, and so
Oh, I know.
they want to find something that's just direct XP per hour. What's a good method to do? And Trouble Brewing was that for a lot of accounts.
I agree. I didn't actually. I think if they were gonna nerf it at all, like it should have been a smaller nerf.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
basically like made it so it was so bad it's just not viable at all.
Yeah.
This is
It's
like maybe a little tinfoil, but some people that I know were saying they think that it was nerfed so that the new fletching minigame in Varlamore Part 3 has like a space to exist.
Yeah, no, that's 100% it. Because if the fletching minigame wasn't coming out, I don't think they would have even recognized Trouble Brewing. But the thing is, it's so hard because I want the game to feel like you're, I don't know, playing the game kind of, and just doing Trouble Brewing on it. Like you're just like in an instance, this weird, like it almost seems private servery to just keep jumping in these 20-minute
I
mini games and just getting a bunch of XP. That feels odd. That doesn't seem right, especially
I
when you're just
agree.
doing it
I think
alone.
I think that line of thought is like a little bit it can lead to kind of like arbitrary things like, oh, I don't like this, so I think it's private servery. But I agree in this case. I think it I think it's a little I think it's weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, fletching is the one skill where I don't really I just tell people there's one good fletching method, and that's broad arrows. If you're doing anything else, you're losing yourself like a million hours. Basically every other skill has multiple good methods, but fletching is not that skill.
Yeah.
Trouble
Yeah.
Brewing cooking was good though. I did it to 95 cooking on Ultimate while I like quested up an ult. It was pretty AFK, or like low effort rather. It
Hmm.
wasn't AFK.
It was a decent, like if you're just looking at the method itself, like APM and everything, it was great because there's so much chillness to it. You're just chopping the tree. If you're just deciding to AFK four ticket, feels good. And then
Hmm.
then you have this just moment of just super intense, one tick clicking the thing. And I think that can be kind of obnoxious, but you get those breaks, every bit or
It,
so.
it
So
worked well for me. Yeah,
yeah,
I think I did 100 quests on my ult while I was getting 95 cooking on the ultimate.
that's crazy. Yeah, no, it was pretty damn busted. So I wonder though, because in my and again, this whole game is just very subjective when it comes to like
Hmm.
what the game should look like. But in my head, I've always been more of a quote unquote purist when it comes to the Iron Man modes, and I want things to make sense, and I want things to like feel like you're being an Iron Man and using the supplies you get and like having that be the way you level up and things. So Trouble Brewing never really made that
Hmm.
much sense. I mean, Cranes doesn't really make much sense, especially because you're literally just funneling planks from a main account onto a UIM. That doesn't work.
It's missing that like resource gathering step. It's just there's none of it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like you're indirectly just buying things from a main account or trading it over. It's just weird. And I mean, we could
Hmm.
jump all into how I feel about Shopscape as well. I just never have felt like Shopscape was ever something that should be like, I don't know,
I think
recognized as like a meta.
I think it's overhated on, but I also like I understand the frustrations because it's not I'm not going to sit here and say that hopping and buying stuff out is very riveting gameplay, but I think
Hmm.
that people kind of go on about it more than I care at least. At some
Yeah.
point I'm just have you ever done two client hopping? I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I've seen videos of it. I know Tanner
Because
Dino
there's
at the
like
Boneyard was displaying a lot of that. I think Automelogy as well had like that silver hopping method as well, where he was using two client hopping.
there's like a little bit of a difference in two client hopping depending on how frequently you finish what you're doing in the world. So like if you're two client shopping, you actually basically insta hop.
Mm,
Whereas like if you're doing like two client blast furnace, you're still probably gonna have a delay because you're trying to like time your hops right, if that
mm,
makes sense.
mm.
But like doing shops where it's just like a stationary NPC like hop seeds, you're literally just like buying half second, and that makes me not really mind hopping as much because it's just 5 times faster.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I guess I don't know. It feels like with a lot of things, even if there's something really broken in the game, people learn to start really enjoying the method, even if it is a broken thing. I mean, I would say cranes is
Hmm.
something that's broken. You even admit to it. Maybe it's
Oh, yeah,
overpowered,
no, it's
but
overpowered. Who cares
ultimately,
about
if you were
Ultimate Iron Man skillers though?
yeah, and if you were to spend enough time doing it, you low key kind of enjoy it. And then if it did get nerfed, like, God damn it, like I kind of was enjoying this broken method. But it wasn't even
Hmm.
the fact that it was broken necessarily. I mean, it is ultimately because you want the maximum XP rates, you want to be efficient, but you actually start enjoying the method itself. So I can understand that. I think for me, I want to
Hmm.
play a game where there's no such thing as like world hopping. So and you probably, I don't know if you heard this on the cast. It must have been with Faye Poppy or with Darts. I can't remember which cast I was talking about it with, but probably Faye
I've
Poppy
been
actually.
meaning to watch both of them.
Okay. Well, on
I'm a
it,
big Poppy fan.
yeah, no, he's great. And we had this whole discussion. Like I was saying, it's either two routes, in my opinion, would be the way I'd want to go about it, which is like totally remove shops, like make them just like basically obsolete for Iron Man. You don't need to make it fully obsolete. You could still buy a couple resources, but make it so
Hmm.
it's just like it's local potentially. Like there's a few different options. Make it local to the player, so hopping doesn't even change the inventory status of the shop, or just go all in on shops. If people really love their shops for some reason, which I would be mostly against, but I could still accept it, then at least just make it so that the shops are like infinite stock. Like just make it so it's like
Hmm.
infinite. Like just you go there, you buy as much as you want, and there's no world hopping. Like I would love a game like that too. I think the previous option I'd enjoy more just because it feels like you actually have to like gather your resources because you stand alone. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
either.
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if removing all shops is very realistic of an undertaking, but I
Mm,
do think it would be the best implementation. That being said, I've like playing Ultimate has kind of made me be more supportive of the idea of instance shops because right, Ultimate Ironman for most shops have their own like shared shop across Ultimates,
Mm.
and not many people actually play Ultimate Ironman, so you basically get free reign over most shops. Like buying Astrals, never been easier on an Ultimate.
I bet, yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it makes the gameplay a lot nicer at times when you don't have to worry about some one other person ragging your everything.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, look at this is mildly unrelated, but it kind of gets the gist of what I'm describing. But like forestry,
Mhm.
they made an update where now you're actually encouraged to have more people chopping with you. So it's like you're not getting
Yeah.
punished for like another player ragging you. Like it wouldn't be the same thing necessarily, but if shops were just like infinite stock or whatever they are, just like there's no world hopping, just buy as much as you want. I think that would be like the best, or just make it completely local to the player if we're going to go the other route of like nerfing shops. So it's like you only get this one stock, no matter what world you're on. You're only going to be looking at what stock you have,
Oh, that would be crazy.
and then but it could still have a select amount of, let's just say you go to the gold shop, and let's just say they even buffed how much gold there is in there, just potentially. So it's like you get like your kind of like daily ore if you wanted to or whatnot. I'm not suggesting this
Mhm.
would be the route to go down exactly, but if it's local to the player, then for a fact you're not getting ragged by anybody.
I
And
think I'd be fine
yeah.
with local shops, but probably just not touch anything else. Like it'd still be 100 gold ore per world, but it's just only for your character.
See, well, in that case, I would just say just do unlimited gold ore then. Just there's literally make it so you just never need a hop, because what's the difference between just always having it unlimited stock just versus hopping
I mean,
repeatedly?
they could do that too.
Yeah.
It's just that would require more thought and attention because now you're messing with XP rates and metas.
Yeah. And, so is messing with XP and metas only a problem if it's going to buff it, or would you have a problem with it being nerfed? Or is it just
I
either
don't.
or? Just affecting metas in any sense is bad.
I think it just requires like more attention and care because there's times where there's a meta that's bad. Like when Forester came out, you could get 1.5 tick teak XP rates just event hopping. Everybody thought that was bad. Obviously, they hot fixed it.
Hmm.
Or like cranes are pretty overpowered. You get to get near EHP or over EHP depending on your game mode just for buying one GP planks and using like five alts.
Yeah.
And so it's like those are times where I think the XP rate could benefit from being nerfed, but
So
you just gotta put some insight into it.
like what if how would you feel, this is just purely theoretical, how would you feel if Jagex were to say, hey, guess what, we are nerfing completely Blast Furnace shop, so now basically it's local to your player, and there's 100 of each, but when you hop it stays that inventory of however much you already bought. So let's just say you bought out the world of 100 gold ore. Now on every single world it's all zero for you, and it's just going to slowly replenish. So now gold ore is no longer like buying gold ore is no longer the meta. So now like Ironman would be forced to basically find something else that's going to be as close as possible to that meta, but technically EHP got like nerfed in a way.
I would
Like
get to laugh at every front page iron that hasn't finished smithing.
no, but because all we've seen over the years is people's hours getting devalued. This would actually be a
Mhm.
revalue. It's just like you're actually
Wait,
you're
do you
gaining
know
hours. Yeah, yeah. What?
you know how a lot of the front page irons are doing smithing, right?
Um, I mean, I'm assuming
They're
gold ore hopping, right?
they're using alts. What they're doing is they're like making
Oh,
Iron Man
iron.
alts.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's just sell. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
so
like
that's
Iron Man
that's why
alts,
the
but make
local shops
bloodlines.
would work. That's why these local shops, because it wouldn't have any effect over any other Iron Man that's selling or buying.
I mean, I don't think I'd like them nerfing such a like long-standing method,
Hmm.
but people would probably just do Giant's Foundry, which is, I mean, I'm doing Giant's Foundry on the Ultimate anyways because dropping gold bars sucks. I don't have the hands for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Giants
Um,
Founder has its own issues we can get into, but I'll avoid it for now.
that damn Crucible. That damn Crucible. Why does it have that menu? Like, just let me save putting in four adamant plate or three adamant plate bodies.
Dude, the whole mini is a mess. I'm sorry, I'm just
Yeah, I
not a
mean,
fan of it. The balancing is really fucked up too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's busted as hell, but it's
I mean,
imbalanced.
it's only busted if you don't like Blast Furnace. It's like kind of meh otherwise. I
It's
just do it because it's lower effort.
it's really good if again you're not in the EHP mindset of like this is how you efficiently max an account because most people are not going to be are not willing to like get a bunch of money and then spend all of that every last dime they get on a bunch of gold ore and building up an Ironman alt and buying gold ore out and shit like that. Like they just
I mean, you shouldn't alt. Like, realistically, you shouldn't alt just for 99 smithing, but I get what you're saying.
yeah. But even if it wasn't like the alting involved, like just hopping from
Yeah.
buying gold ore, like that's a lot of people just don't want to do that.
I think a lot of it is the misconception on how you do Blast Furnace. Like, people think that you're supposed to buy gold ore, bank
Bank
gold
it, yeah,
ore,
no.
but like you can do just hopping through Blast Furnace worlds, buying the gold ore, putting it on the belt, and then taking the bars and banking them and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so much better. But
See, in my opinion, this is going to go a little bit deeper, but like the whole reason we got such an imbalanced Giants Foundry is because we were basing it off of buying gold ore at Blast Furnace, which, so,
Jagex probably was.
no, I mean, that's exactly what it had to be balanced for. So, in my opinion, like, if we had addressed the shopscaping stuff like years and years ago, where it's like, okay, Iron Men really should not be able to buy resources at this extent and just infinitely buy stuff and get, all their smithing done through buying stuff. Like they should be able to, they should mine their ore because they're an Iron Man. They chose to stand alone. And then they should use the resources that they gathered with their own hands and then,
Mhm.
manufacture it. But instead, now we had to come out with a whole nother mini game that's balanced by shopping, and it's just like fuck, like this is how we get crazy imbalances in this game, is because we're not addressing a
Well,
concern. And again,
it's a
it's
lot harder.
yeah,
Like, you can have some mod create a passion project little smithing mini game that makes a lot of people happy, or you can redesign how shops work in the Iron Man smithing meta from the ground up. And one takes a lot more man hours and will cause a lot more disruption throughout the community.
you're right. No, you're completely 100% right there. I mean, that's exactly the
Like,
conversation I had with
look at Reddit now. Those guys are foaming at the mouth over like some a damn research study.
I mean, there's a little bit more to that, but yeah, no, there's, I mean,
Don't get me wrong. I think a good amount of the outrage is justified. It's just people are taking it way too
oh
far.
yeah, oh yeah, it's Reddit, they'll take it far as
Like
hell.
like so what Jagex says they did is like they contacted a research group or whatever, and I'm getting my degree in data. And so like it's literally a textbook case that I've seen so many times. Like you a company reaches out to an outside research firm to do questions and they make their survey present to people in different ways, right? Like
Hmm.
people said, oh, my version of the survey has a $20 sub, mine has a $10 sub, and then the one with the highest number gets put on Reddit, and it's like they're doing that so they can have a wide range of people's opinions,
Yeah.
even if it's not realistic. They're trying to see where the sliding scale rests.
No, it makes sense in theory. I think the way they went about it, though, knowing the OSRC, okay, like they have to know how autistic we are as a community. Like they have to know that we
Yeah,
would have outraged over this, but they just
I'm fine
didn't.
with the
They just,
outrage because I don't like a lot of stuff in the survey, but I think people are just taking it too far. But I
you're
guess
right. I also
it
haven't seen how far it was really taken. To be fair, there's probably some really nasty posts out there that are,
there are. I mean, I try to avoid Reddit.
yeah.
Place is a cesspool. Um, but yeah, I don't really want to talk about it for that long, to be honest. It's not. I think it's been talked to death.
Yeah, yeah, no, but we'll see. I mean, in my opinion, I think in a way, it was a good thing how it all went down. Like, we just made it so abundantly clear how much we are not a fan of any of these ideas of like ads or limiting.
I
You know,
agree.
I mean, just the fact that they would pull that, like, I'm sorry, like that is just obnoxious to have literally pulled. Like, hey, would you want to
Well, it's a
have
survey,
your
not a poll.
plugins? Okay, not a poll, sorry, a survey. Even to have surveyed, like, to
Hmm.
have thrown in there at all, like, hey, like, are you cool with us limiting the plugins you have and like lowering your AFK timer? And I was like, what
I
the fuck,
I
like.
find I find the plugins one particularly egregious because while it like might sound not so bad on if you're not an RS player, but when you really think about it, that is them charging you for community creations, like things that they don't put the work in to do.
Yeah, it's fucked
But
up. Anyway,
yeah,
there's a lot of it, like you said, it's already been beaten to death. So
one thing I want to hear about is
yeah.
your thoughts on early game Iron Man. How's it been?
Oh, I've loved it. So early game Ironman, I've had two shots at it now. So one was with my group, Hardcore Big Dogs, and that
Yep.
was back in late
No
July.
monkey and his goons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that was a lot of fun. It was definitely a different experience because I didn't have to do everything by myself. There's a lot of things that were just kind of handed to me. Like I got a rune pouch for free. Didn't have to do the LMS. T-Papa did that. Didn't have to
You
do
got
a lot of the
your
hunter
bones for 80
initially.
prayer
Sorry.
or whatever. You got your bones for 80 prayer out the group storage for free.
Well, I yeah, no, there's a whole all right,
But
well, we can move on from that, I guess.
I think
Good
I
rant.
think
I never get to rant about this. I'm glad I could.
I get to rant about it too much. I've had to stop myself. That's one of the perks of not having an online presence to care so much about.
That's true. I have to watch my mouth.
Yeah, I'm sure it's annoying. But
So going back to you're talking about like the early how's early Iron Man. Early Iron Man's fucking great. I think
mm,
what we have, especially with the run energy changes, they were phenomenal. I don't exactly know how it feels at 1 agility or like 20 agility or whatnot. Probably feels really good though.
I don't either.
But yeah, they've just made a lot of really solid changes. I think there's still a few things I would like to see changed. One of them,
Mm,
is I don't know. I feel like there's this over reliance on like, I don't know if this necessarily needs to be changed, but what it feels like is Iron Man, early game Iron Man only really feels good if you know what you're doing. Like if you're following the quests and everything like that. Because if you're trying to like mine
mm,
at level 1 or you're trying to like do like some smithing at level 1, like you're just trolling. Like you're being a complete clown. And I think a lot of that
true.
stuff could actually kind of be smoothed out in a way. So there wasn't just like, oh, you should just skip all these early levels and just go straight for the questing, even though that makes sense and it still should be the efficient way. I think like there's a lot of accounts out there that don't know about those metas, and so they jump onto tutorial or they jump off of Tutorial Island, get into the main game, and like are just experiencing their Iron Man for the first time, and they're just realize how fucking painfully slow
Mhm.
all of this is. Because
Well, do you think new players should play Iron Man?
yeah, I think they should actually.
I
I'm not against it.
I played the first time I played the game was on Iron Man, and I always tell new players play a main account.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, a lot of it is Stam. So I like the run. So I
Hmm.
don't actually know how that'd be now, but like definitely you're gonna do a lot of walking on Iron Man, at least
Yeah,
before the changes.
that's true.
So if you're like trying to get somebody into the game who's not, like a super big gamer is usually the case, I'll always tell them, play a main account. I'll give you some stamps and some teleport jewelry. Now you can get around and have like a fun time questing. And I think the quests are the best way to hook people in because they're better than other MMO quests.
Yeah. No, it's I think the way I see it is just it's tough for an early it's tough for somebody that has no idea what they're doing to really get invested in Iron Man at an early stage. I just feel like
I agree.
there's a lot of roughness right around the beginning part. I mean, just mining a copper and a tin ore, shit takes like 30 years to fucking mine. Like, what is this?
Bronze bronze pick sucks. I
They
know
should
when I
change that,
started,
by the way. They should,
I did a lot of wikiing.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
They should change. I'm sorry, like the pickaxe speeds. I don't
What do you
think.
think? Like three tick across the board, have it work like wood
No,
cutting?
no, no, no. I think nothing should be slower than 5 tick. I think I like that Addy pick is 4. I like that Rune is 3. I think Black
Mm.
is 5 tick, or maybe that's 6. Maybe it was Mithril. It's 5.
I
But
mean, yeah, I think
nothing
it
should go
should be.
slower than that. I think it just gets to the point where this is fucking stupid.
But what do you do to make the bronze, iron, steel different?
Um, what do you mean?
If they're all five tick,
Yeah,
how do you make them better?
they're just not. I mean, they're just all the same. Like it's just, they're just all the same. Like I wouldn't
I
be
guess
opposed
that's
to them just
fine.
being all the same because they have different attack bonuses. But like, because like
I
right
mean,
now, I'm pretty sure bronze and
yeah.
iron are the exact same. I would need to look up the stats. I know
I
bronze
think you
is
do
8.
save a tick on each tier. I'm not like 100% certain on that, but I'm pretty sure you do.
I think there's a couple that share the same speed, but I could be wrong on that because I'm pretty
I've
sure.
got zero idea.
Let me look it up. But I just don't think anything should be an 8 tick speed. I'm sorry, that's just like ridiculous. It's just stupid.
I mean, I think that would be beneficial to the new player experience. I know when I first started playing, I started in free to play, and I
Hmm.
was mining that tin and that copper, my bronze bars. I was like a very cute noob.
Okay, so here it is. Oh, there are two that share the same. So I
Oh,
have it
okay.
pulled up here. So bronze is 8 ticks, iron is 7, steel is 6, black and mithril are both 5,
Hmm.
and
Oh, okay.
then addy is 4, rune is 3, dragon 2.83, crystal 2.75. So
For
um
me, just like going back to the
yeah.
early iron experience, one thing that I really notice is just the amount of quest XP you get makes early game routing like so much faster. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you basically quest all your way up to 70 herb. You don't really have to do any herb runs. And that's just crazy. Barely
Yeah.
have to do any agility either.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like I just hit 60 herb lore on squat cam, and I've barely done any diaries, so like I could easily
Hmm.
shoot up so many
What's your
more.
quest?
211 quest points, 110 completed.
Oh, okay. I thought you were further along in the account actually.
I mean, the thing is, I've kind of like dropped back from doing quests. There's so many free quests I could just get around to doing.
Hmm.
The total level's 1577. The combat's kind of like medium. I haven't done any ammonite crabs. I forced myself on this account to not AFK anything like as in like Chrome remote desktop anything. I almost want to stay early game for as long as possible because I just enjoy it. I enjoy kind of like being newbier.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
that's like the main difference in how we've gone about it. I've been
yeah.
just like I've really enjoyed the routing aspect of this new
Mm,
account. Like drafting my plan has been so much fun. Um, and then just like executing it to get to progress through the game in like a way that people almost never do on a first iron. Like
that is
doing
cool.
yeah,
I,
like I just did 99 con right off rip, then 99 RC right after. It's like people say you're crazy if you have
yeah,
99
that's
RC
fucking crazy,
under
actually.
2K total.
How many hours was that? 99 RC on a UIM at your stage.
You do, I mean, like the thing is, you can actually get max efficiency at RC earlier on an ultimate because you don't use binding necks. Whereas like
Mm.
on a regular iron, you'd kind of want to make sure you had binding necks before you did it. Um,
Did you just do soul runes like after Guardians of the Rift, or like how does it work for you?
no, I just did Guardians of the Rift the full way through.
Oh, okay.
It's
Is that faster than souls?
yeah, it is. Souls are like 40, 45K maybe. I don't actually don't really do ARC, but
Okay.
Guardians of the Rift will be like 60, 65K in mass and like 70 to let me check what EHP
That's
is.
actually not
I
bad at all for
I
UIM.
think
Jesus.
I think I was pushing 80K when I was doing alt pre-start
Holy.
duo
Okay.
Guardians of the Rift, but I wasn't always able to find a duo, um, or like somebody to do Guardians of the Rift with. The small teams Discord is kind of hit or miss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so small teams probably caps out around 80K if you want to be
That's
if you're using an alt to pre-start, so you're like really pushing it.
That's actually really good. Yeah. No, I there is something that is really special about kind of having like a fun kind of path that you're efficiently kind of working toward. Even though, well, I don't
Mhm.
know. For UIM, it is a bit different. Would you say you're following the efficient path on a UIM, or is yours a little bit more creative, but still you're still trying to do efficient methods?
Um, I would say it's pretty efficient. Like, I don't think there's one perfect path.
Mm-hmm.
But like for example, I've recently got two pieces of my Void Waker. I went and did the melee pieces. So that gave me a bit large influx of money. So like I route around that. So now I have a lot of money to cast Magic Imbue while I do other skills, which means I have more Magic XP to work with, right?
Mm,
And that sort of thing. Or like now I have more money so I can afford to finish fletching earlier.
I see.
Um, yeah, so it's like I guess the PVM I do kind of changes my routing. Like I got a rapier on the account too.
Oh, that's
So
crazy. That's nice.
I did like 20 tobs and I pulled a rapier.
That is nice.
Yeah, so now like now I'm not gonna get a fang before I do Slayer because I have a good stab weapon and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not gonna get a Hosta either.
Oh, that's so nice, dude. Getting an early rapier like that's fucking.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I mean, Sae Bae, my main iron, took 915 for the first Tob weapon. So
Jeez.
yeah, it was bad. It was brutal.
That is bad.
It was bad, dude. Um, but yeah, no, and I think that is kind of the difference between playing. Like, if I was to be playing, I don't know exactly at what point I would have wanted to do like a fresh, really efficient sort of Iron Man. I think because I didn't play really efficiently on Sae Bae, I was still pretty newbie and just figuring things out as I went along, and I got more efficient as I went along. But
Mhm.
I think having played just end game Iron Man for like 5 years straight made me just deeply crave a sort of early experience where I didn't want to rush through it.
That's understandable. Yeah,
So
that's how most people play.
yeah, yeah.
And I honestly I think that's more attractive to viewers anyways, if that's something that influences you.
It depends. I actually think it's more attractive to rush PVM. I think the rushing
Okay, yeah,
PVM is
yeah.
because I'm not even rushing PVM. Like, I'm genuinely just taking my dear sweet time, just kind of like fucking around
Mhm.
doing what I want to do.
I just don't think rushing max is always very great
It's not.
content.
You're
Like
right. You're right.
here I am mining for 100 hours and doing farming contracts. It's not riveting. It's not
Yeah.
riveting stuff.
Yeah. I grinded 91 fishing for like 2.5 weeks, and that was just just plummeted my viewers. It was just whatever, but I wanted to
It's
do it.
hard.
Yeah.
If you want a skill, it's like people want to see PVM.
Yeah. It's just fucking true. Yep.
The wider community in general is just not very receptive to skilling. A lot of people don't really respect it or consider it to be a real playstyle. But what can you
Yeah.
do?
It gets more stressful when like it becomes your sort of job. Like, when I realize like,
Hmm.
okay, the numbers that I'm polling means, how much I'm making this month, and how much, will I be able to, pay rent and whatnot. Like, that's when the stress really gets to me, because if it wasn't a matter of
Hmm.
anything to do with money and it was simply just having less viewers, I wouldn't give a fuck, really. I really wouldn't. Like, I could just
Yeah.
enjoy my grinds. But as soon as I realize, kind of, this means money, like, it's way
I don't
harder.
envy that position at all. That's I think that's why I'm like I have very little interest in doing this as a job.
Yeah,
Um,
that's actually just good to recognize before you get into it. That's not something I
yeah.
recognize
Also,
at all.
content creation's kind of hard. I've been like I just recently finished the first like YouTube progress episode
Hmm.
of the series or like for this ultimate and I had a lot of like technical difficulties recording clips and stuff. I'd lost a lot of clips. Like I lost the clips to both Void Waker pieces I got
Oh
because my replay
no.
buffer corrupted them.
Oh
That
fuck.
that was a really annoying. But
Yeah, that's tilting. Jeez.
yeah, but I mean, I almost have a Void Waker.
That's pretty sexy. Are you lucky on it so far?
Yeah, I have like 800 kills total with two pieces. So,
And those are the single variants.
not going multi on an ultimate.
Why not?
Do you know how wildy bosses work on an ultimate?
uh Explain it to me.
or willy in general. So you don't keep
Yeah,
the
you
only
you lose
items that you
everything,
can
right?
keep, except for Trouvert items. So you can take your fighter
Okay.
torso. Um, but yeah, so basically
And
like
there's no
every
gravestone?
hour, no gravestone.
Yeah, so
So
you have to like
every hour
suicide
you're
first, right? Yeah.
yeah, you're going to Prif,
Eh.
and like the way I did it, because I just like the way people told me to do it is you have one pile that's your wilderness items and one pile that's your like not wilderness items. So
Mm,
I would so at the end of a trip I would go suicide in Prif my wilderness items and then pick up the non-wilderness items and suicide those.
bro,
And
that sounds so miserable. I'm sorry. That just sounds
it
bad.
it was at first, but I got used to it pretty quickly. And it's the thing is it's like not even a tenth of the process.
Mm,
So like the majority of the time, you're still just killing the bosses.
I see. It's still like this is. I think that's honestly part of the reason why I could never really get into UIM. The only
Hmm.
I think it's because there's always ways to get around things, and I think in a weird way, a more masochistic UIM would actually be more enjoyable for me. Like something where you can't die, and if you die, you just lose everything, guaranteed, or something like that. Like something where, like a hardcore UIM mode where you can't use looting bags, can't use stash units, can't use anything,
What
and
I'm pretty sure there's at least one maxed UIM that doesn't use a looting bag.
really, but he still suicides though.
I'm not sure.
But
I just know that somebody
yeah,
maxed without using one.
that's fucking impressive.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would almost want an official mode where there was none of that. So it's actually more masochistic, but in a way it limits you even further, so you don't feel like you need to do these super obnoxious methods like death piling every hour and ugh, god.
The freedom of having more restrictions.
Yeah, that's actually what it seems like to me. So
I mean,
I don't know.
to be honest, I think that it sound a lot of ultimate stuff just sounds worse than it is.
That must be what
Like
it is.
it becomes so like very force of habit. But there's also the other end of the spectrum where people think the game mode is like really easy because you see all these polls where they're like, now you can stash your prims, now you can stash your bofa. Um, and like the game mode is getting easier, yes, but also it's still very far from a regular Iron Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think anybody's debating that. What do you think? Do you like current UIM? Obviously, you're relatively new to it, but do you look back at previous versions of UIM before these quality of life
I
updates came out and kind of envy it?
I think that there are a lot of the changes that have happened are good, but there are some that I think are blatantly bad and just pandering.
Mm.
Like basically every stash unit upgrade shouldn't have made it into the game. Um, like for example, you can store, like I said earlier, Bofa and Prims. Like I just don't see a reason why we need to be able to store Prims and Bofa.
Mm.
That's like storing a 100 mil item for nothing, and Prims are best in slot for now. I think there's
Well,
other ones as well. I'm thinking of.
isn't there like how do they decide what can be stored in your in your wardrobes in your POH? I feel like that's pretty arbitrary. Like
It is arbitrary.
you could store like full ancestral, right? If you get it, and like
Yeah,
Virtus.
you can store Ancestral, Virtus, Masori, Ink, not Torva. Cannot store Torva. Can't
Like
store Bandos
what the
like the
fuck?
from Gardor.
Why can you store full ink and not these? So is it just like literally just whatever Jagex decides can be stored in it is stored in it? Because that feels very arbitrary.
I think it is for the most part. I'm under the impression there wasn't like a pull question for storing Masori because that
Mm.
would have been like the most recent one, and I know there wasn't for Virtus because I recall. I think well, I'm like 99% sure of that. But yeah, that is definitely very arbitrary. But yeah, I don't actually have much of an opinion on the house so much as I do on the stash units.
Mm.
Because like there's still the balancing of the house. Like it's not as though you can just get a piece of ink and take it out. Like getting a full set of Inquisitors is, or even Ancestral, is a pretty big task, and you have to have the full set in there to be able to take it out.
Mm. That is true, but it's still it just feels weird to be able to like bank so much shit. It's basically banking.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what?
Thinking some items.
Yeah. You know what they got to do? They got to make it. They got to make a homeless UIM or the unhoused UIM. That's what they got to do. You can't
No
have a house.
costume room.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder. I wonder if that would be a good series. It sounds like a snowflake. It's probably already been done before, but just one restriction, which is homeless. You
No
can't have a
house at
home.
all.
Yeah, yeah. Just no house. In fact, one construction basically.
Mm.
So your whole account has to max like without just the luxury of a home, which is still easy to do. It's I mean not easy, but still a lot of long
Now,
hours. But
would it be interesting or just grueling?
just grueling. Just
Because some,
send
I
it.
don't know, the way a lot of Snowflake series go, I feel like it's just the appeal is just that they're basically like CBT.
Yeah, yeah. No. I mean, I don't know. It just, some of the time,
Mhm.
I don't feel like I could ever enjoy it myself because it's unofficial. But if they were to come out with an official hard mode, like they surveyed this last year, not I guess not last year,
Oh
but
yeah, I remember
2023.
that.
The hard mode iron, not hardcore, but hard mode where it's just everything's more difficult. You can't use shops.
No safe spotting.
Oh, I didn't know that. That'd be crazy.
That was in one of the surveys.
How would they get rid of that?
They've already got mobs that can't be safe spotted. Think like, have you done Coliseum yet?
Yeah.
The red flag on the Minotaur, like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so we just have smart pathing and they just keep coming to you.
Yeah.
But there would be situations where you could just if there's a 3x3 monster and obviously Coliseum wouldn't be an example of this, but you just go in a cave where you could hide in a little 1x1 thing and you can still
Yeah,
safe spot. But you're just saying like
pro
all the monsters would have smart
probably.
pathing. I feel like
I think that's what the pitch was in the survey.
whoa, the thing is like how would they even do that? Would it just be the monster if it's aggro to you all of a sudden develops smart pathing? What about
I think
multi
so.
areas
They would. I think it's just anything.
that's aggro to you just starts smart
Yeah,
pathing?
just uses
Jesus
smart
Christ.
pathing instead of the current pathing it does.
I don't like that. I actually just like I don't like it because it would feel so off.
I'm not sure I would either, but I think it would make the game harder, but it wouldn't really feel very old school, to
It
use a
wouldn't.
cliche.
You're right. It wouldn't. That's interesting.
But
I didn't actually know that
yeah.
that was, or maybe I just forgot, or maybe I didn't recognize what it was actually asking.
I mean, it's just a survey question.
Hmm.
It's not like there's been any development time towards it that we know of.
Yeah, I would want some sort of. Well, here, let me ask you this. You know, moving on
Mhm.
beyond what I want. Would you want a new official mode to come into the game, or are you kind of against new modes coming out? What are your thoughts?
I, I I would have to see what it is, but not particularly. No, I think that we have enough of them. Like, I definitely felt like there was a good amount of game mode bloat with there being three types of group Ironmen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, I get that hardcore group Ironman was going to be great for views and like get people talking about the game, and group Ironman that's fine. And then, but then having unranked, which unranked solves a problem that they had, but also just the amount of helmets is so high now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. One thing I was sad that didn't go through was being able to put like the level 3 skiller or one def in chat. I think them getting a chat icon would have been cool. Which
That would be cool. But
yeah,
wouldn't that cause more bloat, do you think, or no?
maybe they just need like a hover over tooltip that explains what they are.
Because, I mean, I wouldn't mind if they even had their own, again, if the high scores don't break. But if they had their own high
Hmm.
scores, I'd be okay with that, like level 3.
They do.
But they're not official.
No, they are.
What? No way. This is news to me. What the fuck? Let me look it
Is it?
up.
Wait, let me make sure this is official. Um, yeah, count builds. If you go to the high scores
Whoa.
on the right side.
Whoa. I didn't know this. I've
Yeah.
never seen this. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, no, you're
You don't
totally
you don't
right.
use like the RuneLight pop out high score thing? I use that all
I
the time.
do, but I thought that was an unofficial kind of thing. In fact,
Oh no.
I never actually clicked on the new things, the little defense, the little block out and the sword. I never, I'll be honest, like,
Yeah.
I'm always looking at main or iron or hardcore or UIM. Like, it's just those top four. It's the only ones I ever even highlighted over because I never cared about leagues, never cared about Dead Man. Didn't even know there was the other two.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's
No, it's
cool.
pretty cool. There
Yeah,
was a little
that's
bit
really
of
cool.
controversy when they came out because like the highest ranked skiller is somebody with like all skills 99, even if like JCW was the first to 200 mil all on at level 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't have 99 Slayer, so some guy with like 99 Slayer and way less XP was higher ranked. But what happened is that guy got hacked and like
Oh
people
shit.
ruined his level 3.
Oh shit. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Like somebody stole his account and did waterfall quest.
Fuck.
Yeah,
That's bad.
that was pretty brutal.
That is
But
devastating.
JCW's rank 1 now. He has 99 Slayer. Shout out to him.
Wow, this is really cool. I didn't know that these were official. This is all news to me. I just had never
Yeah.
looked. I think
The one
as soon as the
the
group Ironman high scores came out, I stopped really kind of looking that
the one
much.
def one's also kind of lame though because you need 99 prayer and attack, which is
Yeah, that's silly.
like if you're a one def with 99 prayer and attack, like I
You're not
mean,
even a real pure. What are you doing?
yeah, more power to you, but that's not that's not how pure is traditionally done.
Yeah. See, when are they gonna have a 10 HP? Yeah. See, you could just arbitrarily just keep adding more and more. But I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with them like
hmm
just coming out
I
with
think at
different
some
ones like
point,
that.
like you need to not take up too much space
Hmm.
on the leaderboard section, but overall, I think it's fine to have ways to track them. Like right now, that you can only do on Temple.
Yeah. See, I would personally like a fresh new official game mode that's in the main game. I don't know what it would be exactly, but there's something just so
hmm
appealing about that first initial race, that just who's going to be the first to max, kind of like who's going to get these cool items. It's just like there's just that fresh competition that
So
you
what would it be?
just whatever. It doesn't really matter. I mean,
hmm
I like the idea of. I mean, one, it could just be as simple as like well, there's two different variants of the hardcore main mode, but if it was just in the main server, just being a main account that has one life, I think is kind of interesting. Not super interesting, but it's something. And then
I
when
think
you,
hardcore main would be successful.
it would, and
Ooh,
yeah,
you know
go.
what mode? What I would like is Bronze Man because I think a lot of people who play Iron Man would enjoy
Hmm.
Bronze Man more.
Yeah, yeah. Would you be able to PK though? Because a lot of bronze men, like unofficial, like the kind of PK aspect, and you probably
For
wouldn't get
me,
that.
for me personally, I don't think like when I think of Bronze Man, I don't think of it as including PKing, but I guess I'd leave that up to the people or make it opt in. Like
Mm.
I think PKing for Bronze Man is fine. Like if that's what you want, but
Mm-hmm.
the reason I say that Bronze Man would be good is because a lot of Iron Men don't want to do anything other than have Iron Man bossing progression.
Mm.
So like a mode where you can only use things that you've actually gotten on the collection log seems like it would fill that niche well without making them like whine about farming and herb
True.
lore
True.
and like say, "Oh my God, I have no prayer pots. I'm gonna do 3 minute herb kills instead of planning one ran RC."
I also like the idea of Mithril Man mode, which is basically you start off and you can only you can't use the Grand Exchange, but you can trade other Mithril Men. So you're like a big fat group Iron Man in a way. Like every single Mithril Man you can trade freely. Every single Mithril Man you can boss with.
hmm So it's like kind of like fresh start, but without separate worlds.
Yeah, yeah, and but there's no Grand Exchange. I'm pretty sure on Fresh Start you had Grand Exchange, right?
Oh yeah, there
So
was.
so in this method, like there, you would probably bring back like Falador Park as like the Mithril Man trading grounds. You know, just like I
I
think
think
they're
those.
yeah.
I think any kind of like player to player trade system without an automated trade is a lot better in idea than execution. Like it sounds a lot more fun than
Hmm.
it is.
I think it is uh when there's no alternative. Like if it was if we had to go back to just no Grand Exchange just across the board, nobody can. That would suck. But if you're a player but
Mhm.
just okay, I want the Grand Exchange. This is fucking stupid. I don't want to be trading. You can still play this. But for those that even if they just think they want it and they realize they actually don't, I think there still is something special about playing a Mithril Man and then you basically kind of feel like you're an Iron Man because ultimately you don't have the Grand Exchange, which is what everyone's used to.
Yeah.
But if you want to just trade like over like a whip or something, you could, but you'd have to find somebody that's selling it. I think the prices would be kind of interesting to see. I think you could really focus in on some skilling potentially and just like just sell things for whatever price you want. I think there's just some sort of mild interest in that. I think it would be exciting to just
I
be a
think it has a lot
middleman.
of potential.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about it now, like say not many people have are like farming dragons. So you can do dragon bones and that's like a very lucrative thing just because the pool of players is smaller.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yep.
I think that that definitely is like about it's like over the line of what I'd vote yes for just because
It's a
I
bit
think it
convoluted.
and it would just contribute to fragmentation of the player base and game mode bloat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do like the idea.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's hard to add stuff without having it split the player base a little bit.
You're right. I really liked the hardcore main man mode, but I still cannot get over once somebody commented this post of, you know what I'm talking about, the
Mhm.
hardcore main man mode on separate servers. Have you heard that idea?
Oh, yeah, I mean it's just hardcore main and then it's they're on their own servers.
Yeah, yeah. So everyone just has one
Mhm.
life on there. That sounds so exciting until you remember what happened in the old days, where as soon as there's a ton of fucking risk, people start DDoSing worlds.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
that 100% would be the case if you had streamers playing this awesome new hardcore servers where everyone has one life. They start raiding. Hey, guess what? These pieces of shit are going to DDoS the world. And now, not only do they lose their status, but they just their account is deleted, or something like that would be devastating. That's would
I'm not very big on like hardcore modes with account deletion or item deletion personally. I don't know. I think I would just never want to play that.
yeah. I think there
Like,
is a lot of excitement for something like that, but it would only be if it's like truly like fair in a way. Like you'd still be able to use teleport crystals. In fact, I
mhm.
wouldn't even be opposed to them like just across the board everyone just has a teleport crystal like
Oh, that
installed
would
on
be
them that
nice.
you don't even need to wear. It's just installed on you. Like
Yeah, honestly, teleport crystals have been very good for hardcore Iron Man, and I'm like very critical of hardcore Iron Man. I think it's historically been a shit game mode that's been determined by how good your internet is more than anything
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine has like had several hardcores and they've all died at Sarah to a DC. Like he was like one of the first max hardcores, and it's just every time he's lost his hardcore to Sarah Doman.
That's
And
so
it's like
sad.
that's not a hard boss. You don't type that boss by being an idiot,
That's
really.
so sad.
But no, it's
Yeah.
teleport crystals have been great.
Yeah, they're obnoxious to use, which is why I don't really like playing the hardcore mode. I think there's just something exciting about everyone being a
Mhm.
hardcore that I actually would get involved in it, even though it
I'm
sounds
just
like antithetical to my philosophy. But
I'm just not sure how many people would play it with a lot of these.
yeah, no, I mean, who knows? Depending on, like, again, I just don't know. I don't want to
Mm.
predict. But ultimately, just my own opinion, I would love some sort of new official mode. Whatever would seem the most popular. I just want something new. I want something fresh.
I'll take it
And
over leagues.
yeah, yeah, no, I want something permanent that's fresh. See, that's a difference. And
Did you
I'm
touch this league at all?
no, I just can't get involved in leagues.
Me neither.
It's too ADHD man mode. It's just a big task list you have to do. The account gets deleted at the end of eight
I
or nine
did
weeks, and it's just not fun.
I did 4K points for the Twisted House, and that was enough for me.
Nice,
Um,
nice, yeah.
for me, I've always like I've started saying this recently after playing on a main account more because I've been like leveling up. I've been trying to get like Quest Cape and 99 combats and all that on my normie.
Hmm.
I feel like for me playing a normie is leagues
Mm.
because it's like you're just so unrestricted. You just buy everything on the
Yeah.
GE.
No, it's actually crazy when I hear. I think it was on Big Bay. I think BC Guppy was in my Twitch chat just talking about how he's training up his
Mhm.
his norm like his normie account, and he's just like, yeah, I just bought a bunch of ashes and wrath runes, and everywhere I go, I'm just using this fucking ash spell, and
Oh, that's
I basically
beast.
just get 0 time prayer XP. It's just like that is so foreign, to like an Iron
And
Man.
like fletching is literally zero EHP, not
Yeah,
one bit,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't even have to
because
sit at
it's
a
just
bank and fletch your logs initially.
you can just do it anywhere.
Yeah, no, and then the other thing is like, oh yeah, I'm just grinding out 99 herb really quick. Just buy
Yeah.
buy all the. It's like, whoa, I
Oh,
forget. Like you just buy anything you want.
You know what I did? So
Yeah.
the mastering mixology gives those gloves that give you a 10% chance to save a secondary when you're making a potion. And
Wait, the
for
amulet or the goggles?
the
Oh
goggles.
yeah.
Uh, so for a while, making stams with those with the goggles was profitable. So
That is crazy.
I got to 95 herb on my normie just like
Making
uh
money.
yeah. I
That
should have
is
got in on it
wild.
earlier. I would have been 99.
That is wild. And that was one ticking them, right?
No, I was just AFKing it because I was playing the other account.
Okay. Yeah, nice. That's all. Wait, can yeah, yeah, you can one tick those.
Yeah, you can.
Were you just making the 4 dose or the 3 dose energy, or were you doing like the one?
No, I was doing the 4 doses.
Okay.
I wasn't using the
Oh,
amulet.
you were saving the amylase every 10%,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
weren't getting the extra
that's
thing
right.
from the amulet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
Yeah,
good
would
that
that have been
is.
worth it? Because yeah, I don't know the price of the actual
I
like
don't know.
aids.
I didn't spend money,
Okay.
and it was like 280k XP per hour, so good enough for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a 1 by 27, so you got like pretty long AFK
Oh
there.
yeah, so chill. Oh wait, were you using? Oh, did you have the pouch? Oh, wait, no, I guess the pouch wouldn't have done anything anyway because it's
No,
not a
yeah,
14 by 14 anyway. I've never had that pouch yet, but I don't even
I
know if
haven't
it's
either.
worth doing it for herbal because you have to like load it up from your bank, which sounds obnoxious.
I think it's kind of like preference. Some people like using it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm. I
I
don't
would
think.
say just get it if you want it. I don't know. You're probably gonna be doing a lot of mastering mixology anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I've been waiting for 81 Herb Lord to do it on the ultimate. So I'm like, right now I'm doing 99 mining and a lot of farming. I'm doing like farming contracts, which, by the way, are a massive pain in the ass on an ultimate. Um,
Mm,
and then I'm just gonna use all the herbs eventually
nice.
on as much mastering mixology as I can. Unfortunately, I have to like keep a lot of the pots for stuff I'll use.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think if you were to hit the same point on your UIM that you've reached on your Ironman, like do you think Ironman or UIM is the more fun game mode? Like, do you actually enjoy UIM, or is it just the fact that you haven't progressed it all the way that you're just
Mm,
enjoying it right now more?
I think there's like pros and cons to both. Like I have a different play style on each account. Like on my iron, I like clogging,
Mm-hmm.
but I refuse to clog at all on the ultimate. Like I will never be an ultimate clogger because I think that's antithetical to the point of the game mode.
Mm.
Um, so it's like I guess I just enjoy them for different reasons. Like I can enjoy the Ultimate Iron Man, especially early on in the game, has a lot of like puzzles to solve. Like what do I keep here? How do I manage to like get here while keeping my items, that sort of thing. Or oh, one that's really fun about Ultimate is just knowing where to get items that you'll randomly need. Like, do you know the best stop or the best place to get a ball of wool?
I would just go to
Probably not.
party store. That's where I go. But
See, but Prif is better.
well,
And
if
like
you
I
have
only know
Perf
that.
unlocked, I guess. But yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I only know that because of like having to make a salve every once in a while.
Nice. Yeah. Oh,
And it's
dude,
like
the
you just
game
don't get
knowledge you
that.
get from UIM's got to be insane. I mean, playing Iron Man alone, you just
Yeah.
develop so much game knowledge, but UIM's just like fuck, some
You know,
next
one
level
thing it
shit.
made me appreciate is how OP Varlamore Part 1 was.
Really?
It added so many like good shops that
Yeah.
you don't even think about until you're playing an early game Iron. I was like, like screw Giants Foundry or Moons or whatever other low level content they added. This is where it's at. Like Varlamore Part 1 shops are crazy.
Yeah. No. See, I actually do like that they've done that. I think the Addy Square used to be like one of those shields, like oh you got to go get your Addy Square for your medium clue or
Hmm.
whatever like that. But now there's a shop for it. I think
Yeah, I
it's even
remember
at
buying
Mount
that.
Karum. I don't even know if it's in Varlamore or maybe I'm
I
confused. I can't remember.
no, I'm pretty sure I did buy one for Varlamore or for
Okay.
in Varlamore Part
Yeah.
2 area. I
Yeah.
remember saying you can buy this now. Wow, because I was doing like two tick teaks and I needed defense.
Nice.
But
See,
yeah,
I,
no, it's been very good.
I don't mind it, just briefly going back to like the whole shopscape argument thing. Like I really don't mind if there are some unique shops where you can get some nice items or whatnot. I think the
I mean,
problem with the shopping is just when it just becomes the meta to like grind a skill. Like it just come
well,
on.
it's the hopping, right?
Well, it's that too. I pose both of those alternatives where it's like either really just remove shopping, like not remove it, but like
Mhm.
drastically just fucking burn it to the ground where it feels like it's not a way to grind a skill to 99, or make it just so it's infinite. Like if people are against that for some reason, then just make it so it's basically infinite.
I guess I just don't have too much stake in shopping, so they don't bother me that much.
Yeah. No, and for a lot of people, it doesn't. I think it's a lot of it is just my kind of purist mindset where it just comes to like, I want an Iron Man mode that's like more pure. I don't want to be
I think that's
shopping
a
for skills.
I think it's a popular opinion though. I think a lot of people don't like shops. That's definitely been like the
Well,
vibe I've gotten.
people like getting shit easily. So I actually
That's
disagree. I
true.
think like when it comes to runes, for example, like people just wanted to have blood rune packs. Like just give us blood rune packs, give it to us, give us soul rune packs, give us all this.
Mhm.
And this is a year and a half ago when we were having that whole like Scar Essence Mine debate. But like for me, again, I just posed both options. Like it's either just get rid of shopping entirely and really fix rune crafting. So it feels like a really good method to get runes and just buff it across the board. And there was ways to do that without breaking the game. Or
Definitely
just make
could
it so
have
it's
buffed a
infinite
few RC
stocks.
methods.
Sorry, say that again.
There definitely could have been some buffs to a few RC
Yeah.
methods.
I mean, it
Like,
could just be balanced across the board still. I mean, elemental runes, the fact that you only craft like 4 fire runes per essence at 99, meanwhile it's like 10 or 11 airs. It's like, come on, these are elemental
mhm.
runes. Make it like 20 across the board, like just 20x at
Yeah,
99. Like just send it. Who cares?
a lot of skills could use with a large overhaul like that, though. Like people always harp on smithing.
Yeah. Smithing is. Smithing's in a mess right now, and I think that a lot of it's just, like I was saying, gold ore buying already made it so the meta is just really imbalanced, and then they had to shove Giants Foundry, so now anvil smithing on an Iron Man's completely, you're just trolling basically.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's the case. I think making plate bodies still makes a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't.
Mm,
Where would that make sense on an iron?
it's if you have mithril bars or addy ore, you just make plate bodies with them.
Yeah,
It's
but
higher
what?
XP.
But why not? No, it's not higher x. Well, it's higher XP per hour, like real time. But like who? But you would actually. I don't even think it is. I think Giants Foundry is still higher XP real time an hour.
I can look because I know the nerds are still using their bars for plate bodies, and I trust the nerds. Let's see.
Iron Men, like Iron Men nerds or mains.
Iron Man, yeah. So like,
Whoa,
let's see.
who's doing that? There's no way.
Like skillers.
There's
Okay,
no
so
way anyone's doing that.
mithril plate bodies are 200k XP per hour, and addy plate bodies are 240k XP per hour,
Is that with
and
the outfit?
that's without the outfit for both. So it'd be
Okay.
closer to like 240 and 300k respectively.
Okay.
For
And that would be better than just using mithril and addy bars at a severely discounted rate. I mean, you're basically using like 20% of the bars and basically already getting close to that XP an hour at Giants Foundry.
I'm pretty sure yes, just because at the point where iron skilling is, you have an excess of GP, and so using the bars faster and then doing more blast furnace for higher XP per hour is the best use of your time because you get the money out of the bars faster. But
Okay,
it's
that's
also
true. That is true. You get the money out of the bars faster. I agree with that. But
and
that's
then you
the.
spend more time doing the high XP method of blast furnace, and you already have an excess of money.
I see.
So like I don't even think it's worth processing mithril a lot of the time at this point. But also, it's kind of like a toss up. If you like doing Giants Foundry, it's fine to do Giants Foundry.
I just one of the sad parts is just the fact. I mean, just the fact that it's even a toss up just is so sad. Like Giants Foundry should not be anywhere close to being able to use such few bars as
Yeah, it
you
really
are.
does use very few.
It's very few. I mean, dude, I had a stack of like I think like 2,000 mithril and like 2,000 steel bars on Big Bay. Dude, I shot up to like 85 smithing from like, again, this is, I probably had to use
Mhm.
more than that, but like I just remember the stack was like no more than that. I think I gathered like another 1,000 or so later. But like, bro, back in the day, that shit got you nowhere. Like a couple thousand bars, like that literally got you fucking
That's
nowhere. And
yeah,
now
that's
it's,
been like
yeah.
the way they've gone with a lot of the new mini games. Like the same with mixology. It does take resources, but it gives you insane like XP per resource, which I think is
But
I
at
don't know, it's
least
weird.
mixology is more balanced. Like mixology at least is only like 2.5x. Like
I
it
mean,
still is extreme. Like that still could be seen as extreme, but it's nowhere near Giants
I would
Foundry where
say
it's like I want to say Giants
I
Foundry is close to like 8x. Like you're getting like 8x the XP, or maybe more than that. I think it actually might be more than 10x the bars in some cases.
I think mixology was just worse for the meta. Like mixology actually affected the way high level efficient players play, whereas Giants Foundry had zero impact on them.
But yeah,
So
but that's
I
only looking at the absolute peak efficiency. I think
yeah.
that pool of players is so few in regards to like the. But
Have you
I see your
seen
point. I definitely see your
have you
point. How
seen
yeah
Effie Poppy's tweets on Twitter?
yeah no, we talked about it on the cast. I mean we went deep down in the mixology rabbit hole.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, no, I've been meaning to watch that. Every
Yeah.
time he tweets on Twitter, he gets 100 people saying, like, go see a mental health professional. When it's like, dude, he just wants the game that he plays to be like they promised it would be.
Yeah. No,
That shit's so
I see
annoying.
where he's coming from, but here's the problem with like I love Poppy. I actually respect him deeply as well. But his proposed solution for mixology is awful. It's
What was
awful.
his solution? I think he's had a few.
And again, it's all subjective. Some people agree. Mainly super high level people agree, but his solution was like just change the rates between game modes. So make it so it's like 200k for mains,
I
50k
think
for irons, and like 25k for UIM. I just think that would
mhm.
be the most bizarre and ridiculous solution you could possibly implement.
I agree that it is like a weird and bizarre solution, but I genuinely don't really see a better solution, and I
Hmm.
think that they should have never made a mixology because of that. I think it was inevitable they ended
Mm.
up in this position. Like it was either going to be dead content for all game modes or it was going to be overpowered for Iron Man, and it was almost always going to be overpowered for Ultimate Iron Man.
Yeah,
And
but I
like
mean,
every skiller warned Jagex this was going to happen before they did it, and then they said, "No, trust us, guys, this is not going to happen." And then they did it.
yeah, but the way Faye Poppy also just kind of was giving a analogy of like it would be like I mean mixology ultimately really didn't buff the HP that much. It would be like the equivalent of having some really
Mhm.
lazy rooftop come out that's like 115k XP an hour, where it's a lazier method. It barely affected the meta, in a way where Sepulcher you can already get like 105k if you're efficient. It's just kind of it's like slightly buffed it a little bit,
Mhm.
but it's just a lazier way to go about it. But in my opinion, I think there are some definite pros to mixology. Like I actually appreciate the fact that
I
now
think the
you
uniques are
can.
cool.
I love the uniques. I think they're like really nicely tuned where they're still really powerful,
Mhm.
but they're not absolutely essential in a way. Like they're
I'm
but
not
still
sure.
powerful enough.
I'm not sure if Ultimate should be able to use the Chug Jug.
Oh,
That
really?
thing's kind of crazy.
Is it? Is it? I wouldn't have even known if that would
You
be
can you
broken.
can store like 25 of basically any potion in there.
Oh,
So
wow. That's
so like one
interesting.
of my friends who's a like late game ultimate, what he does is he puts divine super combats and regular super combats in there. So he gets to like withdraw a divine super combat for each top. So that way otherwise he would just be having regular super combats.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, see, I don't even think that's that. I mean, would you say that's overpowered or just a
I
really
don't
good item? Like,
I don't think I'm far enough in the game to really say. I think it
okay.
is it's definitely strong.
Yeah.
Whether it's overpowered, I think is like kind of subjective because it isn't untradeable, and untradables are
Hmm,
notoriously a pain in the ass on an ultimate
I see.
because they're always in your inventory
So
unless you like death bank them.
I like where mixology sits, and I think now don't get me wrong. If they were to nerf it by 10% of the XP, maybe that would be even better, but I'm not even going to be the player to suggest that because I think it's ultimately where it's at is fine. And this is coming from a more casual standpoint where,
Mhm.
again, I'm not looking at the absolute, whatever the metas currently were, but I think there's something beautiful about being able to use those low level herbs that you just never got to use prior to this update. And Poppy's argument was, yeah, that was kind of the point. You weren't supposed to be able to get milk all of these low level herbs, but I actually kind of appreciate that this actually invited that kind of avenue of just being able to use kind of like every last resource you got. I kind
It
of
is
like that.
very it is very true to the Iron Man like fantasy.
Yeah.
However, I think that that's like kind of where the problems for me at least in the meta came. Like
Mm,
I actually don't, like I'm not a 200 mil aller. I just like skilling.
mm-hmm.
So like I'm not really concerned if herb is 10% faster now. The meta just seems less interesting now because or rather more annoying than anything.
Mm.
Because you're incentivized to pick up all these low tier herbs during Slayer, and it's like, why am I making sure I pick up every Guam leaf when I'm killing abyssal demons?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that in a way.
That's more frustrating in my opinion, but also especially on an ultimate. And the update was more
I
impactful
see.
for ultimates because now it's like, oh, now before I do Slayer, I'm gonna try to make sure I have space in my bag for Terromins, Paralanders,
Yeah.
Guams, and like I have an herb sack now.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I don't know.
I'm
There's
just I'm
you're
just
right
chatting
though.
though.
You are right though. I do not see the game from a UIM's perspective in any way. And that's
Mm.
something I'm ignorant of. Maybe I should play a UIM just to get a broader perspective on this kind of stuff.
Doing a quest cape on one would probably be a fun side project.
Fun or just side project? Just say side project.
I
Maybe
think
it
it'd
could
be
be fun.
fun.
Maybe it could be
I
fun. I don't
mean,
know.
okay, one thing I will say is Ultimate is about like in my opinion it's a lot worse before you unlock Prif. Like your life gets
Hmm,
so much easier once you have Prif because you respawn in Prif and then you're right next to your house,
that
which is
is
just a
pretty
game
OP.
changer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's
Good
kind of
point.
like I think questing was one of the most brutal parts of playing an Ultimate.
Interesting.
The one time I almost wiped was because of questing actually.
Ooh.
I was doing what's it called? Making friends with my arm, and in one of the boss fights you can't teleport out. You have to hit like an escape at manhole, and
Oh, geez.
I was doing the quest with like all the quest items on me, so I had like zero food, and I was wearing like my little hunter shitter graceful,
Mm-hmm.
and so I couldn't kill the boss, and I tried to teleport out, but I realized late, then I died. And
Oh,
at that stage in the quest, you're supposed to be in prison, so you can't enter Weiss. However, your items pile inside of Weiss by one tile.
oh
So
my
you try to
God.
click on it and then you get kicked out.
No.
So what I had to do is I had to finish the quest before that hour was up. But
Holy shit.
I learned that you can telegrab your items from where they death pile, but you can't telegrab untradables. So I was
Oh.
so I was able to get like all my stuff except for the rune pouch and then finish the quest in time, but I was like logging out to make sure my minigame teleport was up.
Holy
It
shit,
was
that's
it was a nail
horrible.
biter.
Oh man, that is pure stress.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't wife. That sounds horrible.
It was basically just like Winter Todd loot I had at that point, though. I
Okay.
kind of wish I did Winter Todd later. Or
Mm.
I guess nowadays I just store the
Oh yeah, yeah. You
rewards.
just store all of them.
But yeah, it's because like you're kind of tied to having like a bunch of loot on you once you finish Winter Todd.
Yeah, there. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I love the Winter Todd update. I think it's really nice. And
Looks nice. I haven't done it yet.
oh, it's really nice. And now with the run energy changes, I mean, even if you're not alting a game, which I imagine you'd probably do like the alting start where your players just
I was probably gonna do the mass world hop. I was gonna try that. I used to
mm,
not really like doing world hop Winter
yeah,
Todd
yeah.
because the worlds would get desynced too much. So what I would do is I would just go to World 307 and then bank stand skill until the Winter Todd was at like 70%, then
Mm.
run in.
I guess it's even probably better for you to do that at this point because you're already 99 construction. Because the construction levels are
Yeah.
really nice. Just getting all that.
Although I don't think I'd really be able to do that on an ultimate. Unless I like, I don't know, teleported to Teaks or something, but I probably wouldn't do that.
What do you mean?
like bank stand skilling until 70%.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not sure what I would actually do
That's true.
because
That's true. You're a UIM. I forget. You don't have a bank. Just stand there.
yeah,
Um,
I mean I could do like Irby.
that's true. That's true. Uh, yeah. Well, it's really good. I think the solo meta is pretty chill, and the fact that you can just stack up
6 hour
unlimited
Irby?
rewards now, it's risky. It would be very risky to do that if you have like shady internet, or even if
Hmm.
just the world for some reason just glitches and just lose all those points.
That's understandable.
But yeah,
Yeah, it does seem nice.
getting those fat point juicers is pretty cool. And at this point, yeah, you would just want to. At my point, I would just want to save up all the rewards. I got my Tome of Fire at 90, so that was great.
Oh, nice. I'm still lugging that thing around on Ultimate. I'm gonna drop it once I finish mining. It's making my magic infused cheaper.
Nice. Are you gonna save it potential? I don't know if you're interested at all in that new Ice and Fire giant boss coming out.
Uh, I don't. I think I read the news blog. I don't really remember much about it other than being like minorly underwhelmed. It's like Scurrius 4.
It's gonna, as far as I'm aware, I'm not fully in the know with, but apparently they're gonna be coming out with like a rigger and an augury baby version.
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I wanna see how that turns out because I was trying to do mega scales to get rigor on this account,
Hmm.
but I did 2 mega scales with 100% purple chance and I didn't get rigor. So I don't want to spend any more of my money.
Yeah. How much
Because
was that? That must have been very expensive.
I only had like 4 bill to work with. I spent like maybe 1.5 bill on them.
Mm,
My original plan was to finish getting max combats and 90 herb on the ult I've been training up, and then buy some gear and do and kill my own ulms. So I have a friend who used to do megas,
yeah.
and I was gonna pay him to ult the rooms for me and then kill the ulms myself on that account I was training. But he doesn't do megas anymore as of the changes. So
I
I
see.
decided when the changes came out, I decided I might as well just buy a couple 100% and call it there. I got an Elder Maul and Ancestral Pants, so very good items.
Yeah, yeah, that's really nice getting that Elder Maul, especially now that it's buffed. That would have normally
Yeah,
been a fucking, I would have been pissed, but
yeah.
it's good now.
I just wanted to scroll more than anything, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I might do solos for a scroll, or like maybe do duos with some friends, because like I think duos would probably be better points per hour. But the thing is, then I'm like, oh, I should probably get like higher range levels in my Bofa before I do that. But I want rigor to throw my chins, so
Mm.
I'm probably just gonna eagle eye chin. Maybe buy some like mega scale mystics so that I get the double XP per chin. That's better than rigor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, no, that's so I was just curious if you're gonna hold on to your tome, but I guess if you're already gonna go for rigor regardless. I wonder because I haven't looked up enough to see if those new purrs are actually like gonna be worth the grind. I'm imagining they're probably gonna be pretty quick to get.
I'm not sure. I think the thing is, I'd be surprised if they were efficient, but I'm not sure because they've been like, there's been a lot of like early mid game iron expansions. Like you've got like Moon Zombie Axe, Warp Scepter. I think I'm forgetting some, but like, there's been a lot of additions to the early game arsenal, and some of them are good, some of them aren't. Like
Hmm.
Moon's is gonna lose you time, but you get some cool gear, but it's like not efficient to do. But Zombie Axe is actually pretty good, and Warp Scepter's like break even, get it if you want type thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Zombie
you're
Axe has been a banger of an addition, though.
yeah, that's actually one of the items I'm avoiding getting on this because I think it's too Towny in my opinion.
Think so?
Yeah, that's just that's my personal like I don't know.
The
This
DSim is iconic.
yeah. Well, it's not even about the iconic nature of it. I just feel like they just threw a zombie axe out, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is like from RS3, right? Don't they have like something like that in RS3?
Oh, I don't know. I've never played
Oh
RS3.
yeah, that's true. You don't. You're so knowledgeable at this game. I almost feel like you've been playing this game for like 2 decades. Just everything you know about it. So it's actually surprising that you've only really been playing for just over 3 years. Um,
Yeah, no, I've just been like, I've been super immersed in the high level community since, or like high level, a subsection of high level irons since
mhm.
since like a year into playing, maybe less. I
That's
really have
crazy.
it, the Ironscape Discord to thank. Like all the people there have taught me so much. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm sure lots of people you know and you've had on here like Port, DKHO,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Juke, and like lots of others. Parasailer.
I haven't had him on, but yeah.
No, but do you
But
know
just another, yeah.
the Bruh Sailor guide?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I've heard of it. I haven't actually looked at it.
Hmm. Yeah, him and So Iron Bruh made that guide, and uh, they've both been very helpful.
Because it says here you're actually a contributor to the Iron EHP sheet. So,
Yeah, I get to write that down. What that actually means is I don't actually like do any sheeting. I just like give input on stuff.
ah, I see.
Like for example, like they were talking about adding alting to EHP, like discussing like mystics chinning or alting smithing, and they weren't really sure how feasible it would be for somebody to alt their own mystics, and I did know. So I told them
Oh,
that's enough
nice.
to contribute.
Okay, okay. So you're not like with Poppy, like writing down all the stuff. He's the.
No, but it's just like giving information on stuff they're not sure about, and or like recording method videos sometimes.
Okay, nice.
You know, I honestly have to shout out Poppy again because he really carried the torch after Higer finish.
Yeah, I was gonna say Higer was doing a fuck ton of that, and him getting
Oh
to him
yeah,
all was like, oh shit, who are we gonna have as like the goat? You know, that's cool.
that was like yeah, that's how it was for a while. Um, yeah, like Ultimate Ironman EHP is kind of in that position right now, as far as I can tell. I'm not as tapped into the UIM community, but you know, like Kayla was doing the EHP as along with some other people, but he was definitely like the face of it,
Hmm.
and he's been like he got a job, as far as I can tell, so he wasn't playing as much, which got in the way of him like maintaining UIM EHP. So it's outdated at this point.
I see.
But I think he's been back recently. I don't know.
So do you help with UIM EHP on top of Iron Man?
No, I messaged Kayla asking if he'd add me to the temple, the chat in the temple Discord, and he egoed me. So um, that's not happening. I mean, like, yeah, what can you do?
I see.
I'm in a pretty similar position to you, I think, where I have zero desire to reclaim it on my iron.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me how you feel because I shared my thoughts and honestly, I
Hmm.
think I got a mixed reaction. I think a lot of people actually agreed with me, but there seems to be this I don't know, just like there are people that are totally okay with the current system. They're super engaged with it. They love having a new thing to do to
Hmm.
motivate them to log in. But yeah, I'm that kind of player. If it's like, dude, when I complete something, I want to be done with it. I want to
I'm
have,
not
yeah.
like I feel the same way as you. I'm just not sure if they should do anything about it. Like I think I might just be at the point where I'm like, maybe it's okay for me to just not have GM if I don't want to get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure. The one main thing I'm not sure about is whether I think you should keep like the helm or the rewards. Like, because on one hand, I think keeping the rewards, the longer thralls and the extra zucks would be nice because then it's then people like Inferno speedrunners don't feel like now they have a chore to be able to speedrun. But
Mm-hmm.
I also don't really like that three zucks are a thing anyways, or Turiel's a thing. I don't speedrun Inferno at all, but it just doesn't look like a fun part of the process.
Yeah. No, it's just a tough one, and it
Yeah.
was mainly me just sharing fully honestly how I feel about the system. Do I know the perfect solution to it? Like, no, the perfect solution right now is just to keep it as it is because it actually makes the most sense how it currently is. But just
Hmm.
psychologically, to a lot of players, it just is not fun having something continually stripped away from you that you've achieved.
Yeah. Have you killed
So
any Araxor?
yeah, yeah.
I've killed five Araxor and then I logged out. I went pretty dry on the task as well, and I think I had more fun getting the task than actually trying to learn the
I
boss. Like, I'll learn it on the ultimate.
the
I
the
just,
boss is actually really fun once you learn how to efficiently do it. That's what Scott VC
I,
showed me all the tiles to stand on to get it set
I'm
up.
sure I'll enjoy it. I just don't have a lot of desire to play the iron. Like, all I've
No,
been doing
you're like me,
is,
man. You're
yeah,
yeah.
I really am. I've been like logging in to do raids with my friends every once in a while. That's about it.
No, it's just brutal. Like you get to a point where you it feels like when I go on Sae Bae now, like Again, there
Hmm.
might be a time where I just become very motivated. I want to log back into it and just enjoy the account for what it is. But a lot of it feels like I'm just repeating things. I'm just repeating something I've already done, like reobtaining
Yeah.
GM for the seventh time. Okay, I have to go do that again. And I am dry on several grinds. Like I am dry on the Araxor Fang. I'm over 3x dry of my Duke
Oh,
pet,
so
so I've spent
you've
like
been playing
300.
it like a good amount. If you have the Raxor thing, right?
No, no, I don't have the Araxor Fang. I'm dry. Well,
Like your rate for it though.
yeah, but I was doing that in between Big Bay and Squat Cam. Like
Hmm.
that was like the couple weeks I was playing. I just did like 650 kills or so.
I see. I guess that's not all that much in the grand scheme.
No, 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 not at all. And that's not the reason why I burnt out. But I'm just saying, like, there's just
Yeah.
it just feels like okay, I'm gonna get my GM helm back. I'm gonna get my Fang. I'm gonna go back to Duke, and then it's like okay, I got like 5 other grinds really, and I don't really have motivation to go for 200 mil all. So all the skilling grinds I do feel very arbitrary,
Where you at
and
with clogging?
clogging it just never really has appealed to me either.
I thought you were the elite clue guy. What the hell?
I was the clue. I still love clues. The problem is that they basically unpolled just gave us stackable clues, which
You don't like that?
not really, honestly. I actually really preferred the classic sort of. What I wanted them to do was be very careful. Like you see how
Hmm.
I kind
People
of
are already asking for stackable clues.
I mean, I'm also on board with stackable clues at this point, just because I can't see them ever going back on how clues were before.
Definitely not.
But I see it somewhat like how Poppy sees mixology coming into the game,
Hmm.
where that he really just wanted Jagex to be a lot more careful with these kind of things. That's kind of how I saw Clue Scrolls. I'm not gonna whine or bitch about it. It's just like one of those things where I know the game's gonna get devalued, but Clue Scrolls got severely devalued, like very, very like steeply. Like
Oh, oh yeah.
I wanted them to be very careful with the whole like Clue Scroll thing. Like my opinion, let's just say 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, before
Hmm.
they had hour timers, before they had Callisto massing, like Clue Scrolls were very much, it's just like kind of Sarachnis was the grind, or potentially you could,
Well,
throw in some Barrows. What were you gonna say?
do you think Callisto massing is a bad change?
Yeah, I do. I do see it as
I think that's reasonable because it's
the,
like I mean I have some friends who do it all the time and it's
mhm,
they're getting like 6 mil GP per hour
yeah.
as well as like damn near best in slot elite clues and they're just like feet on desk the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like I'm not against necessarily something coming out that's good in the wilderness and stuff, but again, this is just like my own personal take. This is the reason why I don't talk about these things, because it feels like I'm just whining and moaning about something that's very irrelevant to the vast number of players. But I don't like,
It's like the universal high level player experience.
yeah, it's just like everything kind of starts pissing you off low key, because there's just a lot of just,
Yeah.
and it's with like any player. If you take any game seriously and you start getting really hooked on it and you just start seeing the game a certain way, like you're just going to get irritated by certain things. And I very much try not to be that player that gets irritated over things. I do share some of my gripes, and I always get backlash for it. So that's why I try not to just share this. But
You're gonna get shit no matter what.
yeah, yeah, no, you will. And so I do not like anything wilderness related that becomes meta. I fucking hate it. Like I don't
Really?
like this.
Okay.
I don't like it being meta. I'm okay with things being good GP per hour, whatever. Like, because that usually ends up being the whole argument. It's like, okay, wilderness can be fair as long as it's just kind of like, okay, you're getting more GP and you get the high risk, high reward or whatever. But as soon as the skilling meta is a meta out there, as soon as there's some PVM
I
meta that becomes the thing, it's like, ugh.
I feel you. No, but, like it's like one thing that reminded me of is like if you're going for a hunter record, you just have to hope and pray nobody hits you.
Yeah, that's not.
Like that's I think that's pretty cancer.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's some element of excitement, there's some element of just whatever, but as soon as it becomes like you got to spend like all your time out in the wilderness to do something that's completely unrelated to unrelated to PvP, or unrelated to just like the fact that if you want to be efficient with clue scrolls, you got to be out in the wilderness 24/7. That's not great. I hate that. I actually just don't
Hmm.
like that.
I think
Um,
that's reasonable. And
yeah,
you don't even have a good alternative on an iron. Like Seragnis is good, but it's not good enough, I don't think.
it's not good
Whereas
enough.
like
Yeah.
on a main, you've got that six shades method. I think being a main clogger would be really fun just because I love that seven tick shades method with the Slaster Spark. Oh, it's so
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah, no,
But
it's
it sucks on an iron.
but even Shades had its own issues where like I just wanted everything to kind of be narrowed in where there's a variety of methods, maybe just a handful or potentially two handfuls of methods that are
I'm
pretty
with
well
you.
balanced.
Elite clues need better methods in general. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But here's the other problem is and just overnight without anybody's real consent, they just said, "Okay, here you have an hour-long timer with all clue scrolls." So now what used to be seen as pretty damn prestigious to get high clue scroll ranks, it was like rank 2 hards, rank 1 elites for a time.
Mhm.
Now it's just, oh, go to work and kill jellies on repeat and just juggle all the hard clues. And then when you get
Yeah.
back, and now you have like 40 on the ground and now send them.
It's definitely been Fortnite a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, one thing, okay, here's what I will say on like the opposing side.
Hmm.
Have you ever had like 10 hard clues stacked and do them all at once?
Not, probably not 10. I've had like 5 or 6.
Okay, I think it's really fun min-maxing hard clues. I was doing a
Hmm.
lot of hard clues for a while because when I was still playing the Iron, the last master clue item I needed was Zamorak full helm.
Hmm.
So I was doing lots of hard clues, and I had like 200 or like 100 elites caskets in the bank. So I had like a bunch of masters ready to do as soon as I got the Zami full helm.
Yeah.
And when you get like 15 hard clues on the ground, you can complete them so fast. Because what I like to do is I separate them into different piles. So you've got like deep wildy pile, um, and then like regular pile, and then your double agent pile. So you can
Hmm.
do the double agent skip on all the double agents. Uh, do you know about the double agent skip?
Yeah, I don't know the exact mechanics of how it all works, but I've obviously seen it when you start juggling. Some of the time you
Hmm.
just don't get any double agents. I don't fully understand why that's happening because
My
it'll happen with hards and elites too. Like you'll have like
Yeah. So my understanding is that you can skip a double agent on a hard clue so long. So the way it was described to me that made the most sense is that when you get a double agent hard clue, there's a variable on your character that says when you do a double agent step, you'll get a double agent. But getting another clue step that's not a double agent clears that.
mm,
So the way it works in practice is you get a stack of double agents, and then like when you're finishing up your clues, or like all you have is double agents, you just go do them all in a row because you don't have that flag on you so long as your last step you got wasn't a double agent.
oh, interesting.
And then as that's like one of the big time saves, as well as doing deep wieldy all at once because you can just suicide for deep wieldy steps.
Mm.
And I think it's pretty fun doing the clues really fast that way, but I agree that the 1 hour timer made it a lot easier. Definitely devalued it.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like there's nothing wrong with like this method, like this new method. A lot of people enjoy it, and I'm fully on board with people enjoying it. In fact, that's kind of the reason why I've just fully jumped on board with just adding stackable clues at this point because I can't see them ever reverting how clues used to
Hmm.
be, and that's okay. I think at this point the juggling method is just kind of silly in a way where,
The juggling just feels like an extra step that's like
yeah.
it's there to balance it, but at some point it feels kind of arbitrary. Like, why am I ferrying my clues in 10 trips? Like, why am I running to the catacombs 10 times to
Hmm.
move these hard clues? But
Yeah. And
that's the compromise they came with.
yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm completely whining over, them having changed entirely like how clues work, but that's just another reason why I kind of burned out of Sae
Hmm.
Bae in a way. It's just like we had these methods in place and just huge devaluations, huge shifts in the meta just seem to, I don't know, it's just exhausting in a way. It's just like understanding how much time you put into an older system and then it just completely gets kind of
That's
thrown out the
universal,
window.
though.
Yeah, yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. And that's why on this account, like, and I wouldn't want to continually do what I was doing on Sabo, where it's like, okay, just grind fucking hard clues and just keep riding that meta where now it's like everything's wilderness based. Like if you want the most hard clues, it's send a
Mhm.
cannon out and kill hellhounds. You get like 30 fucking hard clues on the ground in an
Have you
hour.
have you seen the Rogue's chest? That's pretty good.
Yeah, but Hellhounds is insane, and I have like 500,000 cannonballs as well banked, so I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
fucking loaded. Like that would go crazy. But everything's wilderness based, which is exhausting. I don't want to have to
It's
deal with that shit.
the Ring of Wealth Eye is actually like a real problem for the clue
It's
balancing
so
space.
OP, dude.
Yeah, like oh man, Rogue's Chest is like 300k thieving XP per hour, not including banking,
Yeah,
and you get 9 hard clues an hour. It's
I
pretty
know.
juiced.
It's everything's wilderness based, which again, like in theory, the high risk, high reward, that's cool or whatnot. But like, holy fuck, like
But then you're just like, looking at your screen all the time for PKers.
yeah, it's just exhausting. Like people that want to do clue scrolls don't want to be in the wilderness. Like they just don't. Like they want to just have fun doing their clue scrolls. So
Mhm.
again, not every single person, but I'm saying like most people that just want to chill and do clue scrolls really are just dealing with the wilderness. They don't really optimally want to be there, but they've kind of forced metas to be out there now.
Yeah. I'm usually not like a big wilderness complainer. Like I'm usually think it's fine, but I completely understand where you're coming from. It's like it's annoying to have to deal with PKers.
Yeah, yeah. And I just see it like just imagine just metas and skilling. We're all wilderness based. Like you don't have to go out there, but optimally it's going to be your best bet to get
Hmm.
efficient XP. Like fucking A, man. Like come on. Like just stop. Let it be PvP. Like
You think you're gonna do a Void Waker on the new Iron?
I will. I think there's fun in that. Like there's fun in like a
Yeah.
more like temporary grind, like something where you complete it. The problem is with like clue scrolls and clogging, that's an infinite grind. I mean, just, everything has to be wilderness until the end of
Oh
time. Like
yeah.
if you really want to grind out the clog, it's like it's all wilderness based for Iron Man at the moment. That's
How
obnoxious.
much how much you like clogging is just how much you like elite clues.
Yeah, how much you like masters ultimately.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much stake in clogging these days though, because
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
me
like
neither. I've just resisted it because it's
all in on the ultimate.
yeah. So there's a part of me still to this day that I don't know, kind of wishes I was still on Sae Bae, still wishes I was grinding it, but ultimately I'm just like, dude, I don't care. I don't care enough. Things
You can always just
continue
go back.
yeah, things continually get devalued. I'm not obsessed with clogging. I'm not obsessed with 200 mil. I'm not obsessed with getting all that third age. It used to be more fun back when clue scrolls were not entirely devalued, but now it's just ugh.
I mean, it's just normal to not like the same things you used to.
Yeah, I think the element of competition I've kind of resisted as well. That because there used to be this kind of
Don't you?
competitive
Yeah.
nature with me of like, okay, I want to kind of be on that top leaderboard of clue scrolls, and that became really exhausting for me, especially when everything got devalued. So
And you have like a lot of free clogs. I'm pretty sure I've seen your collection log. Like you don't even have any castle wars done. Like you could jump so many ranks. You're just
yeah,
all in on
yeah,
the clues.
yeah. Now it's just kind of taken a step back from the competitive nature of RuneScape because it
Mm.
also leads me to like unhealthier habits. In fact, I kind of wanted to talk to you about just like fitness in general. Like you had a bullet point that you brought up before the cast of kind of
It's
like
it's a
staying.
hard balance.
Yeah, it,
Oh
it
man,
is
like
when you become competitive with it. I think there's that
they're just
efficiency
like
mind or the competitive nature that can lead you to unhealthy life
they're just
habits.
like really into the game. Like one of my friends, he used to run marathons, and then he started playing RuneScape,
Oh no, what happened? Get
and he
fat?
just I don't know if he got fat, but he just definitely stopped running as much.
I see. Yeah.
No, for me, I was like last year, it was like really working out like a ton, lifting a lot. And that was like around the time I was just like playing the iron casually, like definitely falling off a little bit, burning a little bit. And then I started the ultimate and I went off a cliff for like 6 months. But I've been trying to be more fit recently, get my 10K steps in a day.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, I honestly, it's been really impressive seeing you get so far in fitness with just calisthenics.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's cool. It's just been over about 2 years now
Like
of just consistency.
I'm similar. I work out at home most of the time, but I use like I have a set of adjustable weight dumbbells that I'll use.
Nice. Those are really good.
Yeah. So I
Plus, they're
do like
comfortable.
I do some calisthenics. Well, they're a little bit more unwieldy than traditional dumbbells, but it's a lot more space efficient and cheaper compared
Yeah,
to like buying 10, 15, 20, 25 pound ones. Instead, it's just like 10 to 55 all in one.
yeah. That sounds nice. those are probably the things I'm imagining. Like, I think I've seen some shorts of PewDiePie using like those
Mm.
attachable ones like that.
Watch
Yeah,
you watch YouTube Shorts?
yeah, it's bad. I just get it's literally just brain
Mm.
rot. As soon as I get on my phone for the evening or something, it's just scrolling through
I'm a
it. I'll
I'm
notice
a
like 20 minutes in, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
It's very easy to delete your time. I'm a TikTok purist though. I think YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels both suck. TikTok's where it's at.
Yeah, I downloaded TikTok one day and deleted it later because I was like, I don't need another one of these shorts. I also deleted my Instagram, so all I have
That's
is YouTube
probably a
Shorts.
good choice. I have a 30-minute time limit on my phone for TikTok.
That's good. And do you stick with it?
Most days. I mean some days I just don't care. It's like
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
not
it.
doing anything else. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's good though to try
it's
to
a good
limit
reminder if anything.
for sure. Now
But
the
yeah.
the fitness like that's exactly around the time I stopped caring as much about the kind of competitive nature and the kind of efficiency mind that I had towards Sae Bae, where well,
Mhm.
one, that's just like recognizing that the goalpost is endless, like it just keeps moving forward, so there's no completing the game. Everything keeps getting like there's more and more stuff that's being added all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm never going to complete Sae Bae. So ultimately, spending 1 hour a day or spending 15 hours a day meant really nothing. I mean, yeah, I'll get more progress done, but toward what? Like, it's just
I've been very mindful to not like compare my habits of playing to other people. Like I'll hear Effie Poppy talk about how he like will like remote desktop like redwoods or the bone mining while he's working, and it's like those things make me slower when I study and like
yeah.
not want to work out as much. So I'm just like I'd rather log out at that point.
Yep. I'm a logger outer at this point. If I'm not playing, I log out, and I'm totally cool with it, which is much healthier for me
Mhm.
personally.
I still like some AFKing. I've been like a little bit less enthusiastic about the ultimate since I started mining.
Hmm.
So I just decided that instead of 3-tick mining, I'm just gonna AFK my mining, and that way I get to do more farming contracts while I'm mining, and I can just like go play Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, so that's been nice. Just having that option, but you're a lot more restricted on an ultimate because it's kind of like you sit down and you do a skill, and until it's
Yeah,
99.
that's a good point. And there's no like just
Um,
resting at the bank and just chilling out for a bit.
but yeah, the best you've got is like going into Nightmare Zone or something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, but it's cool getting that nice balance
Mhm.
struck with like just gaming and having fun and still feeling like you can be efficient, but then just logging out and also keeping
Yeah,
your physical health in check.
that's one thing I think that really should push. I would think might push more people to be efficient. Like if you're somebody who only logs in like one, like a few hours a day, maybe a couple hours a week, right?
Hmm.
For me, I'd rather just play that like locked in.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think that's the popular sentiment. Like this is one of the bullet points a friend of mine suggested or like topics is the conversation between efficiency versus fun because you'll find like a lot of the low level community likes to think that efficiency is the opposite of fun,
Hmm.
and it's like a pet peeve of mine. You'll say like to somebody like, "Oh, you could be doing XYZ method to get better XP," and they'll be like, "Bro, I play this game for fun. Like I'm not trying to break my hands." And then the
Hmm.
method I'm suggesting is literally just stealing artifacts, the least click intensive thieving method there is,
Yep,
because they
yep.
think that anything efficient has to break your hands. When first of all, desk posture is probably fucked. Second of all, like it's not always that intense.
I think it's also the hesitancy and the resistance to like learning new things. And I've been you
That
know,
is definitely it.
I'm also guilty of that. Like artifacts was something genuine. I just didn't know how to do it, and I didn't
It's so
really.
good.
Oh, it's so good. It's so chill. It's so fucking
It's
chill.
yeah, it's so low effort.
Yeah.
It's like so it's better than any thieving method for your
Oh,
account.
it's
It's so
so
good.
damn good. Like I've been holding off on it. I'm still so low. I'm 58 thieving, but as soon as I
Mhm.
have like 100,000 glass in the bank, oh, I'm sending it, dude. I'm just gonna be
Oh
blowing
yeah.
glass and doing artifacts and just
Oh,
chilling out.
I hate it when somebody's like, "Man, blowing glass is so boring." It's like
Bro,
you
run
you
some
don't have to blow
artifacts
it at
with
the
it.
bank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's so good. And Artifacts is such crazy. The even XP, it's
Yeah, it's like
so free.
it's got a learning curve to it, but man, once you get it down,
Barely,
it's great.
barely though. That's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for me, that's why it was so daunting for me. It's like, oh fuck, I gotta learn all these patterns and stuff. Like He-Box's guides look stressful, but dude,
Oh, that guide is so good. You know, I had
it
done like
is.
20 million XP at Artifact, and I learned stuff watching that video.
Yeah.
It's
No,
so good.
and the best part is with most things, just jump into it. Jump into it first. Like even just watch the guide once if you want, but jump into it because
Hmm.
don't just keep rewatching the guide and trying to learn everything without even having touched the content. Like imagine trying to learn Sepulchre purely from guides and then trying to jump
Yeah.
into it. Like you're not going to. Just jump in, fail a bunch, kind of realize where you're making your mistakes and stuff. And then that is when everything becomes a lot like smoother. And then the guide makes more sense. Like, okay, that's what's happening.
You
So you
really learn through doing.
you do, and you have to do it, and you have to fail. It's the same thing with Inferno. Like
What are
Inferno's
your
stressful as
thoughts?
fuck, and then you do it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the agility meta? Like, do you think that there should be more courses? Because what I've been
Yes.
thinking recently is that, like, right now we've basically just got rooftops and sepulcher and, like, barb fishing exists. You've got Brimhaven agility, whatever, but it's mostly just rooftops and sepulcher.
Yeah.
And I was thinking a good, like, area for expansion would be adding, like, 20 level range courses that are similar to sepulcher and spirit, but smaller in scope.
Hmm. No,
So, like,
yeah. No, go ahead.
yes,
Do you have?
something more something more click intensive than rooftops, but less involved as sepulcher that just makes the lower levels feel like they have something worth doing.
Bro,
Because
I'm totally on
yeah,
board with that. I've been genuinely suggesting that. It's hard to fully illustrate to the audience like what I'm imagining, but I've
hmm,
painted this a few times. Like imagine the TOA skulls, the last little pattern. If you're in like a duo, it's like you're going back and forth between this little skulls over and over. Imagine there was a rooftop course that's timing based, but it's still
yeah,
click box oriented. So it's not Sepulcher where you're running and there's just a full open floor where you're just running, but it's still click box based, but it's timing based. So imagine, you know,
hmm,
repeated platforms as the first obstacle where you have to one ticket, boom, 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 similar to TOA skulls. Let's just say there's like 12 different things, boom, 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 boom. If you mess up and you miss a click, you fall off and you got to repeat the obstacle. So you have to one ticket perfectly, and then you run over to the next obstacle. And I try to give a visual of like imagine the Ninja Warrior show, whatever that thing is,
hmm,
where it's just like a bunch of different random fun obstacles you jump over. And then the next obstacle is a little platform thing with swinging balls. And all you have to do is just click the next click boxes, which are just the platforms. But now you have to do it every 2 ticks. So you wait, you click it again. If you click early, you fall off. If you click too late, you fall off. So everything is timing based, but it's all just clicking on these click boxes. And
yeah,
then the next obstacle is another one where maybe it's just an alternate one tick, 2 tick, one tick, 2 tick, something like that. That's kind of fun. And you just develop the timing over time. And it's so fucking simplistic, but it's full engagement. And you could actually
hmm,
really pump up the XP rates on a course like this because there wouldn't really be opportunity to multi-skill. I mean, you still could if you don't want to chuck in some magic imbues or whatnot, but there's going to be so much clicking.
you can really magic and be anywhere. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but like here, it's like you couldn't just start fletching on an open floor because
Yeah,
ultimately every part of this course is clicking. So you
yeah,
can really pump up the XP rates. You can make the reward very limited. It could just be cosmetic based, and I wouldn't even be opposed to this course giving 100k XP an hour at the higher levels. And hopefully, there'd be several courses of this where you start at level 40, then you have a course at level 60 and a course at level 80 or something that just
hmm,
gives you something like rooftops, which is pretty chill, not as intense as Sepulcher, but full engagement, full fun, focused, and just rhythmic. Oh, I would kill
yeah.
for something like that.
Definitely like heavy on the more rhythmic aspect because what sepulcher has that sets it apart is the fact that like to an extent, well, actually, I'll just say you have to be thinking when you're doing it if you want to play well. Like you
Hmm.
need to say, "Oh, there's a dart in front of me. I need to make sure I path onto this blue at the right time. I'll walk one, like for one tick to make sure
Yeah.
I'm on the right part." Whereas like if it's something that's just more click intensive but more rhythmic, I think that could be good.
Oh, it'd be so fucking fun. Imagine getting on to like, let's just say you were grinding the level 60 course, and all of these would be very generous. They'd all be better XP than rooftops.
Mhm.
Um,
I think
but
Sepulchre should sit higher just because it's so difficult. So.
I think Sepulcher. See, what I would want is like the level 80 course or whatever to
Mhm.
really actually be, maybe it isn't level 8, maybe it's level 90 or whatever it is, but the highest course I would actually want to compete with Sepulcher XP wise, so I'd want it to hit 100k. Maybe
Mhm.
Sepulcher is slightly more. I think Sepulcher is what, 105 if you're like really good.
I think the records are like 108, but that's without looting
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
So
like even skipping grand.
what I'd want from this course is, because one of the things that Sepulcher does offer is loot. So if you could still get 100k XP an hour at Sepulcher and get this nice ring, which is obviously devalued as fuck right now. But you
Yeah.
also get some nice loot if you care, and you get it's like another place where you can clog. This course, I'd still want to be very generous in the XP department, but very limited rewards, if any, or maybe just cosmetics. And it's
Hmm.
purely based on just getting agility up in a fun, interactive manner. And the other thing about
Yeah.
Sepulcher is there's a lot of areas for you to gain additional XP because you're running these open floors and you can multi-skill where you
Yeah, you can
wouldn't
go
really be
crazy
able to
there.
here. I
I
mean, you still
think
could, I guess, but barely.
I just think there's what we really need in new skilling methods is something that isn't Slayer or a mini game.
Hmm.
Just like new methods that are actually fun. I think they came pretty close with the calcified rocks. Have you ever done those?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
I think the spirit is there. Like if you're three tick mining calcified rocks, you've got a little bit of like reactiveness to it, to where you've got the waterfalls that give you extra success rate, so you're kind of like pathing to them and
Hmm.
like trying to make sure you don't drop ticks. If you're doing it for no tick loss, it's there's like a good amount of optimization there, which I think is cool. But it's also like it's the same thing as Spolker, where you're spending like 50% more effort to get the last 1% of XP.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think the spirit is there.
yeah. I think with agility, there is so much potential for it. It's such a unique skill. Agility and thieving are the most unique skills because they're not buyables and they're not consumables. They're just like,
Mhm.
or they're not gathering. I mean, and there's just so much scope for it. There's so much amazing content you can do, and oh my god, the fucking rhythm that we're missing out on with agility. Like, oh, we could have some courses that are so much fucking fun, so
You just
much
got to
fun.
get the community to get behind skilling.
Yeah, but the way you get behind it is just you gotta come out with the actual method. Like you gotta have devs. I mean, it's the same thing with Sepulcher. Like if we were trying to talk about Sepulcher before it actually dropped, people would be
Mhm.
so hesitant on it because they've never seen anything that's like
Even
truly skill based.
even skillers were a little bit upset when Spolker came out because they pitched the XP rates as a lot lower than they actually are.
Yeah. To be
Because
fair,
well,
on
people are
release,
good.
nobody was even getting 80k. So many people were flopping
Yeah, yeah.
repeatedly. But yeah,
But
that
now
was a
people are
tough
just
thing
too
to
good.
balance. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
but I really would love to get in touch with like a J mod and just, I mean, something like this sort of course would actually, in my opinion, be so easy to create because it's just
Yeah.
click box focus. It's like, okay, you got to click on these timings. If you don't, you fall. One of the important parts of a course like this, though, that wouldn't be as easy to develop is the animations. You need to come up with cool animations. You need to make the
Mhm.
course feel smooth. That's one of the things that's lacking with rooftop. Rooftops is already a fucking mess. It's just click the next box whenever the hell you want,
I
and
don't
there's
like doing rooftops.
it's so bad. Like I'm literally doing it right now. You click on the next course or on the next box, the little obstacle. Your
Well,
dude pauses at the very edge of the fucking roof for no reason. Then does this really jank ass animation. Everything's laggy. As soon as you land, you got to wait another tick.
they're just a relic.
There's no flow to anything, and all the animations are garbage. You're walking across things instead of running. Why the fuck are we
Mhm.
walking across obstacles? Like this is a rooftop agility course. Let's be Assassin's Creed. Like let's fucking run the whole way. Let's have
Yeah.
some cool ass animations going. I don't know. The whole thing's a
On the
mess.
bright side, you don't really need to do rooftops like at all. Like
Yeah,
I've
you
barely
don't.
touched them.
It's true.
I don't even have Graceful on this account, like the Ultimate I've been playing.
You
It's just
especially don't need it now with run energy changes.
yeah, but even before then, Graceful was like completely an optional, like low-key a noob trap.
Yeah,
Definitely don't need it.
and even if you did rooftops, you may as well just save up for all the stams at the end.
Yeah, although I'm not even sure if you need stamps anymore,
Well,
like
not
at
anymore,
all.
but back then it was. I mean,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
even for herbal XP, just you may as well just save up all your.
Yeah, I was pretty upset at how the worm agility course ended up because it felt like, well, in the original pitch, it was pitched towards high level players as an alternative to Artie for Stams. And then when it came out, it was like low level requirement. It wasn't even better than Artie. And it's like, this is just more catering to low level players when high level players already feel like they don't get shit.
Yeah,
But
that course just. I mean, some people like it, but I'm like, why not just do any other rooftop course? like,
I can appreciate that it's got like longer obstacles than most other courses, but yeah, I'm not huge on it one way or the other.
yeah, I definitely want them to make a rhythmic, fully engaged agility course that would show people how much fun an agility course could really be. I think there's so much fucking potential.
Yeah, just more interesting skilling methods that are outside the box would be appreciated,
It would.
but I don't know. I'm not sure how much they really care about serving the high level community. I think they do to an extent, like of obviously like Coliseum and stuff, but I'm not sure how much they care on the skilling side.
Well, it's just tough because they have to cater toward. I mean, look at them trying to really, really balance the herblore mixology. Like they're really trying to listen to the higher levels, but there's no
I mean,
pleasing them really. Ultimately, like with
I
and
would
you
argue
even
they didn't really
but you
put
even
much
said
effort
there
in.
was no possible way they could have balanced this. Like there genuinely just
Yeah,
was no possible way. So there's no pleasing them, no matter what, and that can just kind of
I
be
mean,
a turnoff to even trying to try.
yeah. I think it maybe it could have been fine if low level herbs weren't such high value or like explicitly needed,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, I'm not a game designer. It's a lot easier to like come up with ideas, be an idea guy than actually develop stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's actually. Was there anything else on the efficiency versus fun thing? We kind of touched on it a bit just in the
Um,
last few minutes, but
I mean, the main thing that just comes to mind for me is that I think a lot of people don't understand that people who play efficiently think that's fun. It's like there's definitely a lot of bitterness that I get. People saying like, "Oh, you just like play this game like it's a job. Are you even having fun, bro?" Like that kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
I get a lot of that. Because I'm in like a low level clan, and I definitely ruffle a lot of feathers.
I see.
But
Yeah. No, it's and it's funny because it goes both ways. Because
mm,
it's like, yeah, I mean, if I didn't like, I don't, I genuinely do not enjoy playing leagues, and people think I'm a fucking weirdo for not
hey, I'm with
enjoying
you.
leagues. But it's like it's not even me trying to go against the grain. It truly is like I just don't enjoy that. The reason I like RuneScape is the slow grind where you can just kind of like just take your dear sweet time, spend several hours, if not tens or maybe hundreds of hours on a grind, and just enjoy
Hmm.
yourself rather than just sprinting around the game doing a bunch of stuff for 5 seconds. And just not for
Yeah,
me.
people love leagues. I've never been much into it. I've tried some of the leagues, but I just never got
Same,
very far.
same. So a lot of the more casual players love the leagues where I don't, and the things that I love on this game seem very autistic, and a lot of people that really just play the game more casually could never see the fun in that,
Mm,
and it's all subjective. By the way, I just hit 89 agility. Let's go.
congratulations. I'm almost at 90 mining here.
Nice. I think at this point, I think probably on the next cast, I'll make some agility pots and just run Artie because I didn't actually realize Relica course. You need to complete the hard Relica diary, which honestly, I maybe even have the
Mm,
requirements for it, but it boosts the agility from 55k max to 65k,
if
which by the way, I
oh,
fucking
that's
hate
pretty
that.
good.
I hate arbitrary boosts. Actually, they do it the same thing with Paul Nivnich, where you complete the hard die, or you just randomly get more XP. Like what? What?
Yeah.
Like at least just give it like a short. Like make it make sense. Like at least with Seer's course, The
It's the
XP is boosted because
teleport.
you have a
Yeah.
teleport, not just here. We're gonna give you more XP when you complete this.
It does feel very arbitrary. But yeah, everything just boils down to like dev time versus output for it.
Yeah,
It's yeah. I do not envy the devs. I think that
I
a
don't.
lot.
Me neither. Yep, I'm with you. Okay, you have a point here. Iron remaking culture. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, it's just like so many endgame irons I know, like myself included, you included,
Hmm.
just have come to making new accounts. Like, I don't know, have you seen this with people other than yourself?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I saw it years prior as well, but more lately. So what do you think the
Mhm.
cause is?
Well, I mean, for like me, the people I know, a lot of them de-ironed and then like had fun on their mains, like doing speed running, whatever they want to do, and then decide they want to play an iron again. Um, and then a lot of people just wanted to play early game again, like you.
Hmm.
And there's definitely an appeal to that because endgame iron is just a lot of the same. It's not for everybody, admittedly. Like
Hmm.
I just remember this. This is stuck in my head so much. It was like one of the first times I was going dry. I was like, I asked in Ironscape, like, "What do you guys do when you're dry? Like, how do you guys cope with being dry?" And like, Juke sent me this like I don't even remember how long it was, but he was saying like this is kind of the point in the game where you have to decide if late game iron is for you, and that really stuck with me because it's like, yeah, you need to be okay with doing 50 hours for zero progress.
Yep, or 300.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's just the nature of playing a late game iron. So for a lot of people, that doing it again is more appealing.
yeah,
That-
yeah.
That's
No, I'm.
understandable.
People think I'm crazy for making a new normal iron with no restrictions and not a hardcore.
I get it. I mean, hardcore sucks.
It does.
Um,
But I'm just like,
yeah.
there's so much fun. I made this point on Sae Bae. Like, I killed 7,900 almost Duke, and
Hmm.
that took real time. I mean, like 300 hours. Efficiently, it's a little bit less than that, but I mean,
Tebow's worth the time.
yeah, that's a lot of fucking time. But I look at the loot tracker. I mean, it's like over a bill worth of just supplies. I mean, just a shit ton of
Hmm.
fucking supplies. And I look at it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, but the thing is, none of those supplies gave me any dopamine. Like, if I were to
Well,
see
because
that
you're
on,
so rich.
yeah, yeah, like on this account, I would see all that. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, we are loaded. Let's go to town on skilling. But on
Oh,
Sae Bae, it's just
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
already maxed. I'm not pushing for 200 mils. And so the only dopamine I will get is getting that pet. But playing on a fresh account, every little drip of everything means something, and that's something I
Yeah.
missed.
Like you've got goals that you set that day and finish that day and you're making massive progress constantly. It's so much fun.
It is. But
And like
yeah.
one comparison I had is that when I did those 20 tobs on the ultimate, I got 300 rune ore. And that was like insane.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so much money. Whereas like I have 400 mil GP plus an alch tab on my iron. And I'm just like whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, I think Sae Bae's bank's like 17 bill, 16, 17 bill or something.
Pretty good. I think I'm at like 11.
Yeah. And
Are you
that's
are you a dupe dropper?
yeah, I've dropped all my dupes over.
Yeah, I'm also the same. One time I dropped so many dupes, or like I dropped all my light bearers,
Hmm.
and then I was doing Venenatis with my light bearer as my fourth item, and I got smited, so I had to go back to
Oh
TOA,
no. See,
get the light bearer again.
there's a few items I try to keep. I think actually the light bearer is something
That's
I do keep a few of. The same
I
with
think it's
certain
smart to do
items.
that.
Yeah, it's the items
Yeah,
that you could see yourself bringing out in the wilderness. Like, okay,
yeah.
maybe this would be worth. But usually I bring a ring of wealth out there anyway. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
but
not doing clues at that point, and
it,
like
yeah.
I was min maxing Venenatis really hard because it's really tanky, and I was doing it with a bludgeon, so the a light bearer was better than a berserker ring just because you got to warhammer more.
Mm,
Which
nice.
is like really rare. Usually, if you're meleeing 100% of the time, light bearer is not good. So that was just like a fun little case. I went stupid dry on the Void Waker piece there on my iron.
That sucks. Yeah, I went like 3.5 at Vedion. I was
Oh,
doing
that
Vedion, not Calvarion.
I got that one in like 50 kills and then went dry on the other two.
Uh, yeah,
But
I got lucky at RDO.
I like the 1+1 RDO though. I'm gonna do that on this account as well.
Oh, nice.
But I need a that Sun Hunter crossbow thingy. That's
Mm.
what that's what's best for ultimates.
I still haven't used that item. I still to this day have not done a singular hunter rumor, but I will do it on this account. I just got.
Rumors are good.
I've
People are kind
heard
of
they're really
like,
fun too.
I like them. The problem is getting your block list set up. They're kind of a pain in the ass before that. But once you have it set up, it's really nice. Like for me, just gonna be doing like Irby, Red Chins, Moonlight Antelopes, and Dashing Kebits.
Hmm.
So I get chins, I get herbs, I get ammo for the crossbow from the Moonlight Antelopes. It's like a great all around.
Yeah, that would. I'll have to figure out how I want to set that all up.
I think people usually do that list that I just said, or they don't include red chins, but like red chins are probably worth including if you need range XP.
Hmm. And they're just nice to have occasionally on an
Yeah.
iron.
Although
Yeah.
you usually probably use black chins for like PVM.
Yeah, whenever I mean, on Sae Bae, I never caught chins ever. So even in PVM situations, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not, somebody else can bring the chins, like at Taub
Mm.
or whatnot. And even at
At top,
Arma,
like,
at Arma before, there was the TiVo and the Shadow and everything. People
mhm.
are like, bring your chins. I'm like, I don't even fucking care. I'm using an ACB. I don't care. I'm not
I would
touching
do the
chins.
like Bofa in the corner before I had Shadow. That was pretty good.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen my Kree method, which is like it was max range and then it was max mage by the time I got a shadow. But oh my,
Mhm.
I love my method. Just sit in the fucking corner and you're chilling. And there's two ways about it. You can one tick flick where Kree doesn't move at all if you have plenty of food and you can save prayer, or you can consume your prayer and how did it go? I'm trying to think. What was the benefit of not one tick flick? Oh yeah, and then doing the shield swapping, doing the bulwark.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you had like both options, sort of, but ultimately you're not getting fucking pushed around by Kree. You don't have to do any bullshit. You just sit in the corner, and it instantly off ticks. Like everything gets off ticked. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, people think Kree is worse than it is when you can just sit in the corner and you'll be
Oh, dude, it's
fine.
so good now. It's like
Yeah.
it was good.
I would do step unders when I had Shadow, but I was also like scuffed mage gear for a lot of it, like no ancestral.
Ah, I
So the
see.
kills were slower.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not huge on God Wars, but it's all
God
right.
Wars is a lot of fun when you do the more classic methods. Like there's something really special about like melee flicking
I
bandos.
I'm too new of a player. I've never done melee flicking, but it looks really fun. It's on my list of things to do at one point.
Yeah, it just sucks that it's not efficient. Like it sucks that
I
there
agree.
really is no point of doing it other than just to have fun for a little bit.
But it's such a cool method, like tick eating
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it on
and
this
those
account. I'm
no
gonna grind
buffa.
out. No, I'm gonna grind out all of Bandos with just like a Dragon Warhammer and whatever weapon I have, and then I'm gonna be
That's
bringing
sick.
sacks of potatoes.
You can get the early fang.
Oh, that'd be so good. I've been doing a few toas. I think I'm like 10 toas, just fucking 1% purple chance. Not even 1% purple chance every raid. Just garbage, but just,
I think what like the Bruh Sailor guide has you do is get a Bofa at like 70 Slayer and then
mm-hmm,
go do like God Wars and Toa with like Warped Scepter
mm-hmm.
to get your Fang.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just going so against the whole efficient route. Just like and you
Mhm.
know that I'm just fucking around. I think even doing doing melee Zammy sounds
And
pretty
he's got hands.
pretty. Oh yeah, no, it's brutal. The fact that like he just hits you like 48s and stuff just randomly, but
Yeah.
it's so classic. It just reminds you of like those old Latias streams. You don't even know who Latias is, do you?
I think I've seen like his clips for Ulm.
Oh,
Um,
maybe, yeah.
like I think there's one that I used to learn a phase start. But yeah, I'm not
No, he
incredibly
he
familiar.
he was so him and Hauke were so fucking good at Zammy and Bandos flicking. Like they were like
Mhm.
on I mean, probably as good as Lake. I would say Latius at the time was probably even better than Lake at
Lake's a
Zammy.
beast.
Oh yeah, Lake is such a fucking beast. But like Latius just somehow his clicks were fucking perfect. Like, he would do the spectral flicking, and then on top of that,
Mhm.
I mean, this is before a bunch of plugins and stuff. He would somehow always click on Zammy rather than the melee minion that would stand underneath him. That's not a problem anymore. You can just
Yeah, back when right clicking
shit
was a
slam.
real skill.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, he was such a beast, and
Mhm.
it's just such a cool method to watch. I mean, I remember like first watching Hauke doing that. I don't know if you know who Hauke is,
I
but
don't.
he,
I'm like way too new school for this shit.
yeah, no, he was doing solo raids on his Iron Man like years and years and years ago before like solo raiding was even like a thing. Like really, like
Hmm.
it kind
Oh
of was. It
man,
was becoming a thing, and he was just doing it on stream, just chilling, just balling out, and him doing like flicking Bandos and flicking Zammy just looked so smooth, so fucking smooth. Like he just
hearing
had it in the
about
bag.
like
Yeah.
old chambers always makes me. It's like crazy to me because one thing one of my friends who also started around game release says he's like, "Thanks for beta testing, guys," because the game was just in so many parts of the game were just in such a like worse state, like QOL wise,
Yeah, yeah. No, for real.
like having to do Zulrah to max an iron on iron release.
Dude, Zulrah, I remember watching the early Lelador rambles. This is before Zulrah had even dropped. It was wyverns. You had to go kill like 50,000 wyverns
For the
to
pure
get,
essence?
yeah, to get your pure essence.
Oh man. Yeah, Dale was such a good addition.
I like Dale. It's nice. I
I
was
always
still,
I always preach Dale. It's just the best AFK there is, one click a minute, half an EHP. Super
I,
reliable.
I still wish there was a teleport there. Somehow you could get a
Hmm,
teleport crystal there.
that would be nice.
I was even
That would
thinking,
actually make it good for ultimates, maybe.
yeah, no, I was even thinking how cool it would be to like, even if it like an abyssal pearl could buy a day alt teleport there, like a crystal there, just like use one abyssal pearl to buy a teleport, something
Yeah,
like that.
speaking of, have you done the new Guardians of the Rift?
Yeah, I actually just got my colossal pouch at 68 or 67 RC, 68. I'm
Oh,
68
nice.
right now, so I got that. It only holds 16 at this level,
Yeah. I
so
was a big fan of those changes, though.
I was too. And then I have two pieces of the outfit as well. So
Mhm. I like that the mass XP rates were made a lot higher. I,
yeah,
I
and
wish, I wish they would make like okay. So I know that forced team content is kind of contentious, but I wish they would make solo Guardians of the Rift a little bit easier. I'm not sure how many people think about that, but like
I haven't ever done solo Guardians of the Rift.
it's like pulling your hair out times 10. It tilts me so much. Because I was trying to do it whenever I couldn't find small teams, and I just gave up at some point because I'm like, mass is not that much
Uh,
worse. I'm okay. But
yeah.
there's this thing that you can do where you can smuggle a cell from the previous game into the next game, which in a solo is like massive. Because if you end the
Mm,
game on an overcharged altar, that means you can start the next one with a max tier guardian, which means you'll
okay.
basically never fail the game. But it's what will happen is sometimes when you try to smuggle the cell, you'll get kicked out if it's a solo.
Just sometimes. What's causing it?
I don't know. I
Oh,
submitted a
that's
bug report.
annoying.
I submitted a bug report and everything. Sometimes I would try to have like an alt enter the room before
Mhm.
I like try to smuggle the cell out, and it was just too inconsistent.
Fuck.
Apparently, if you time it right, you'll never get kicked out, but it's still a lot more restrictive to where
I
like
see.
you have to lose XP per hour to do it reliably.
I see.
But yeah, solo Guardians of the Rift is like there's some guides out there that are really long for how to never fail games, and you have to like skip portals sometimes.
Ugh, yikes. So small
Yeah.
teams are definitely the meta. I've always been a
Mhm.
mass, just entity hide and just chill out
That's how I was until I played the Ultimate. Just because it was my only method in 99, I figured I might as well do small teams when I can.
for sure. Yeah. Do you
But
enjoy it, or is it a little bit more stressful doing small teams?
oh no, it's super chill. It's like it's really low effort. Especially if you're not alt pre-starting. Alt pre-start is good for the XP, but it's like it's whatever if you don't want to do it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's just super low effort. The game always ends after the second portal, and it's super predictable.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like the masses currently, um, because everything does feel very predictable. Like I can anticipate exactly when the portals are coming. I'm fully.
Mhm.
I just I love that flow that Guardians of the Rift has. It's not just out of control RNG. I also love like I've never been a fan of mass Temporos. I never do them. I only ever do solo firefighting method Temporos.
Mhm.
And I love how fucking predictable that is. It's just a guaranteed number of fish every single time. Oh,
I've not tried it.
Oh,
It
it's
was
so
on
good.
my to-do list for I wanted to do 30 mil fishing on the iron through pet
Hmm.
hunting temporos, but I never got around to that.
I don't know if you would.
I
I don't know if you'd like the firefighting method because it's not that good of XP, but the points is like max
I mean I was
points.
just clogging on that account at
Oh,
that
then maybe
point.
you would like it actually.
Yeah, I mean I figured it was better than doing an XP focus method. I'd rather just get the pet done
Yeah,
sooner
for
than
real.
later.
Yeah,
And I do like that pet, but
it's too
I'm not.
big for me. I wish it was tinier. I wish it was like Kraken size.
Is it a one by one, but just a large model?
Yeah, and that's just fucking massive. Like its arms extend beyond the one by one, but it's still one by one. It's just
Mm.
gross. It just like clips with everything and just it's
I like the
fucking massive.
design. I haven't seen it do all the clipping though. Well, one of my
It's just
favorite
oh,
pets
it's
is
just too big.
KQ.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, I'm more of a
Massive.
fan of the small pets. I like the small guys.
Mm.
Like top three, even though Baron's not necessarily a small pet. I love Baron, love Kraken,
One of the
and
best.
I would say Hubert is in the top
I,
three now.
I don't even know what that one looks like.
It's dude, it looks fucking dope. It's like it's got like twice the refresh rate as like every other pet. So it looks
Oh,
like it's in 4K. Like it looks so sick.
real
Looks
smooth.
it looks like really psychedelic too. I love it.
I'm a big fan of the dusted Tob and Chambers pets.
Mhm.
I don't have an omelet or a dust on my iron, but I have the dusted Tob pet. Big fan of that one.
Nice, nice. That is really clean. Zarpus is like the the superior version of the gargoyle pet, like the GG pet. Like I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but
I,
that
I, th- I think I like the GG's pet more.
what? It's probably because you don't have it. Maybe there's always that element of bias where like you don't have the pet. I don't know. Do you
I,
have it?
whenever, I don't. Whenever I use the Tob pet though, I'll put it on Soat or Maiden. I think I like those the most.
That's fair. I think. Don't get me wrong. Midnight or dawn or whatever the hell the standing one is with the wing, like the orange wing, like that one looks all
Yeah.
right. But as soon as you switch it to dusk or dawn or whatever the flying one is, bro, that looks so ghetto compared to Zarpus. Like Zarpus is so much cleaner, and they are very similar. They're just both flapping their wings. But
Look at the model now. I like the purple accent on the flying one. That's what I like about it.
I see.
One thing I just thought of is Iron Men suck at Tob. That's all. That's like the what I
It's
was
true.
thinking because we were
No,
talking
it's
about
true.
Tob.
Yeah.
It's like because when I was doing Tob on my iron, like I was trying to get good teams to run good raids, and like
Hmm.
I ended up. It was such a ubiquitous experience that like irons who do Tob are not good at it. And so what I ended up
It's
doing is like
so true.
getting some friends together who like we all wanted to get better at Top, and we just made a Discord server and like started like scouting people who actually cared about like playing the game well and inviting people and just made like a server to look for teams in there. Um, because like
Well,
you get
I almost feel like I know why it is. I mean, one, a lot of the time irons don't have the absolute best in slot gear,
mhm.
or they're hunting for it. Like for me, I never had a scythe until like 900 and something raids. Uh, so I just was always fucking around just with a whip,
Yeah,
and then on top of that, like I never have chins, so I don't care about like doing some crazy metas. And then I was always resisting being mage roll because I don't want to use my runes at that time, and so it's just a lot of like
it's the poor
excuses.
mindset.
It
Like
really
okay, so
is.
not having a whip doesn't mean you can't like try to get better though. It's like having if you're in a four-man team. Oh, this is actually something I've talked about a lot. Like in four-man top, I think that like zero scythe four-mans are like more interesting than max F full max gear four-mans because you're working harder for bigger time saves.
Mm,
Like in a four-man top with all scythes, you're going to two down bloat. When
true.
you're trying to maximize your ticks, you're just getting like a one cycle faster two down. But if you're not playing well in a four-man whip bloat, you might not two down it. So for me, it felt more satisfying to try to maximize my ticks because now
Mm,
I'm saving us like a full minute
that's a
when we
good
actually
point.
get the damage.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, it is funny though. You're right about Iron Man just sucking, and not even sucking, but just being so apathetic to like trying to
Yeah,
maximize. It's just like, whatever. Just
it's
give me to the purple room.
it's the iron mindset. Like, oh, I just want to get my drops and get out, or like being cool with raiding with people who suck because they're like, oh, I'm getting MVP, it's fine.
Yeah,
when really it's
yeah,
like you're doing like 25-minute four mans.
yep. No, you're totally right on that.
Yeah, but it was nice to be able to like build a community of people who actually cared about good raids
Yeah,
and
I
like
don't.
don't drop the staff at the pillar. I hate that.
Yeah. Well, you do it here and there, right? But most of the time you drop it at the floor at Verzik's feet.
For the we don't do Hado in the raids that I do. We do 1-1-2. So it's like Hado without tanking is the simplest way of putting it.
Okay.
And you always drop the staff at Verzik.
Ah, I see.
And it's just like little things like that that are really just procedural more than anything. They're not that hard to execute. You just have to do a little bit of learning, but they really pay off over time. And people are just so apprehensive towards that.
Yeah, or like you just try to like hint at, hey, we should do something more efficient. Nah, fuck you. We're just gonna do it the basic way.
Yeah.
Like, shut
Like
up.
not FFA crabs
Yeah.
P2.
Oh God.
Yeah, like learning Boac is really nice for that.
Yeah. See, I'm very all these acronyms I'm missing out on because I haven't tobbed in so long.
Boac is just a P2 and P3 method for popping the crabs without taking significant damage. Like I think you'll take like a max range blast from two of them in West P2 Boac. So like you'll take like 8 or 16
Yeah,
damage, but then it's consistent every time, the same clicks.
I
And
see.
then
That's
you've
nice.
never got somebody getting nuked by a crab as long as nobody messes up.
I see. And then that's the one where you're like DDing with somebody going diagonal or something like that, right?
Yeah, if you yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Okay.
And like also just little things like people on the west go north to pop their crabs and people on the east go south to pop their crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those things all really add up. And it's definitely it was a struggle at times finding people who wanted to do good raids, but I think it's more of a going to be a lot more of a struggle on an ultimate.
Yeah, that's gonna be, especially wipes. Fucking A, that's gonna suck.
The biggest problem is just that like what do I do when I don't have a team? Like am I doing LMS like Nightmare
That's a
Zone
good
like
point. That sounds so ass.
yeah, one of my friends has been going for a scythe on his ultimate, and he's just started like skilling. Like he's got 56 mil mining now, just because he would go do mining while he was waiting for top teams.
Damn. Yeah. So, uh, what do you think about Toa? I mean, I always sometimes I try to imagine how much more fun
Mhm.
Toa could have been if
I
I'm
wish they just gave it more.
in my opinion, like, and this is just me spitballing, of course, like there'd have to be so much like rebalancing with any of this, but I'm just trying to imagine a situation where Toa came out with no puzzle rooms and
Mhm.
there was no main lobby either. Not the lobby where you're setting up the raid, but the main lobby when you've entered the raid. It was
Mhm.
just, here's the order, similar to Tob. Go into the next one, go into the next one, go into the next one. Now you're at Warden's. Just something so just, I don't know, just procedural.
I
Just,
don't-
okay, we're going in. This is the room order. Send it.
I think that could have helped the reception, but I don't even think that's what Toa needs. Like,
That's
I
fair.
think more than anything, Toa just needed to not be so tanky and have like the meta be really long, really punishing raids where you're incentivized to flick a lot. People don't like flicking.
Yeah,
Um, and especially
that's
just
a good
not the
point.
high health and defense and having all these massive restrictions on you. I think what we should have gotten is more invocations that make the raid harder, but don't slow it down.
Mm.
Like, for example, just one that gives Akka and Rage twice as much HP. I'd be cool with an imbo like that. And I think
But that is
when the,
slowing it down. Wait, what are you talking about? Isn't that literally just what you were saying you didn't want?
I mean, it's only slowing it down by a little bit.
Yeah.
Comparatively to like your specs cost 100%
I see. So
energy.
you just want that last phase to actually mean something, have more skill expression in that. You know
Just,
what?
I would like the imbos in general to add skill expression,
I see. One of the
other than
um,
like playing perfectly, which is what they do now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish Akka, that final phase. First of all, I think it's way too fucking punishing to have zero invocations and still have these white balls everywhere going diagonal and
Mhm.
horizontal and vertical. It's just like it's out of control. That should have been alone should have been an invocation to have them go diagonal in the first place. I think it's just a fucking mess. Like when you're learning that, or if you have any ping whatsoever you're dealing with on the world, it's just like, all right, have fun.
Mhm.
Like this is ass.
Yeah.
Way too brutal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely thought that they could have come back and added more invos or just like given TOA another look because they did a lot of like knee jerk changes and then left the raid at way higher purples per hour and like lower time to complete than any other raid.
Mm,
And then they just went and removed Monkey Room as well. When I feel like they could have put in some more effort and added more skill expression.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And also, solo TOA sucks. Team TOA is
It's
where it's at.
Team TOA is so much better, so
Yeah,
much more
I think
enjoyable.
people trap themselves in solos and they
I
don't
did.
realize just
No,
how, yeah, like they don't realize how good teams are. They're so nice.
yeah, no. I hated Toa. I fucking hated it because I soloed every item I got on Sae Bae and just was
Mhm.
like, this is ass. And I'd go to Baba and I'd be trying to kind of milk. So I was trying to like find that perfect tuned balance of invocations where ultimately I just hated every raid I was going into because I felt if I made it too easy, then I was like doing myself a disservice by not having a good enough purple chance. So then I'd push it to the upper limits where it's like a 440 or
Mhm.
something. And I'm just fucking hating my life. Everything's there's some elements of RNG because I wouldn't want to red X Baba. And then eventually I started doing that and that just hated it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, I am getting so fucking tilted over the stupidest bullshit.
TOA is a tilter for sure. Like the Baba queue, like tilt queuing into Baba.
Yeah.
But
the
yeah.
the worst was like just the very end of the raid where you're running skulls. There was so many times there was an issue. This is a couple years ago. There was an issue where like you
Mhm.
would try to click one of your items and it would just drop it to the ground, or it would pretend to like drop it. It was like some weird shift click.
I recall this.
Yeah, this is some real fucking bullshit happening. And I remember on several occasions, I'm talking like 4 or 5 occasions, I'd be I would click on my sword to go to the skulls and one tick the skulls, but it wouldn't click the sword. It would go to drop it, but I had a value warning on it, so it wouldn't
Hmm.
drop it, just wouldn't do anything. So my first attack is shadowing the first skull. And then I'm
Yeah.
instant panic because, okay, now I've fucked everything up and I have to skip this. So I'm like, and this is back, years ago where I just wasn't fully sure of the timing of doing the skip. And I just get one
Yeah.
banged. Just,
That
dude, I
yeah.
would be just slamming shit. I was so fucking pissed because I did
That is the
everything
worst
perfectly.
feeling.
Oh my God, dude, it's bad.
I really don't like the one shot mechanics at Toa either.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's like, especially as you get up in invocations, things just hit you harder. Where you're like dying in like 1 to 2 mistakes, and that just feels so bad.
Oh, it's so tilting.
Yeah,
And that there was always the way, you didn't need to have hardcore mode on, you didn't need to have the one life, but
even
going
if you
in,
do, even if you have hardcore offs, sometimes the run is still binned if
yeah,
you
it
die
feels like that.
once.
Yeah, you're right, because you
Like
have ran out
if
of
you
supplies or
yeah,
no salt.
if you're running the no supply invo, or yeah, if you've already used your salt.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, just so much agony. And yeah, soloing was just,
I'm just hoping I get teams when I go for Shadow. I was gonna do an early Fang on the ultimate, but now that I have Rapier, I think I'm safe to skip it
yeah, fuck it.
and then just go back for a Shadow. Then I won't have to deal with a yellow Karis if I get one. Like
Mm-hmm.
having to lug it around until I'm actually ready to do TOA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know about the cold storage in Moons?
Yeah, like the main weapon you can hold when you kick the icicles or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, do you
that's
hold
been
your
pretty.
rapier there?
No, right now I have my Warp Scepter there. I've been
I see.
but I put my Rapier there for a little bit.
Such a silly storage.
What's really cool about it is you can
Yeah.
put chins in there.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, so like I can catch the chins earlier than I was going to and not have to like worry about throwing them right after. Because otherwise you'd have to like table them in Blast Furnace.
Mm,
Because that's other people can't see that. Or table them in your house with an alt holding it
hmm.
to like be able to drop them and not have them get or like be able to die and not lose them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how do you get it back? Do you just talk to the person at the chest or what?
I think you can talk to an NPC or you just enter Blue Moon and it automatically gets given back to you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that's the one recent UIM power creep that I'm pretty okay with because it is overpowered, but it's just it's very convenient and I like that you can store chins
Yeah,
long
yeah,
term.
yeah. It's funny. See, that's just the stuff I know about that for UIM, but because I haven't experienced it, I don't know like how these updates have these little like funny glitches. Not even glitches, but just like seemingly not purposefully implemented updates kind of like affect the UIM game mode. So
Yeah, it's very easy for just a little thing to have a massive impact.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Just any main hand item just gets stored.
Good for yellow Karis too.
Oh yeah.
Like
So let's see. Is there any other big topic you
I
want to
don't think
touch on?
so. I'm like running out of steam here ideas wise.
Yeah, no, I feel like we've touched on a lot, and this has been
We have.
phenomenal, man. Like you've been
Yeah.
you're natural with these. You got a lot of passion toward the game, and this was just a fucking wonderful conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've had fun.
Yeah, this was great. So, and just pushing 3 hours. I guess we had a segment that we'll edit out, but
Yeah,
we
that'll probably be a decent amount.
yeah. But I really appreciate your time today, Jack, coming on, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
thank
have
you.
your links down in the description. So you stream on Twitch, you have a YouTube, you got a Twitter, correct?
Yeah, I don't really use the Twitter that much these days.
Okay.
I go on it
Well,
every once in a while.
okay. Well,
You can just throw the YouTube and the Twitch.
perfect. Okay. Well, we'll have those down in the description. Everybody listening, so go chuck Jack a follow. Check out his content. Very passionate gamer. He's got a got a beast UIM that's growing, and obviously, like we said, he's is super crazy cracked Ironman that he's burnt out of, but ultimately still gaming. And so yeah, go drop him a follow for me. Also, if you guys want to support the cast, there is a Patreon link and YouTube membership link. You guys can support the cast directly. But yeah, that's it for me, Jack. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, we'll catch you again. Oh, we've got 3 more casts this week coming out, and
Sheesh.
one really big guest as well, which I'm very excited for. So stay tuned. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.